Zoro tossed Usopp aboard while Naruto dropped Sanji on the upper deck.
Both turned to see Karoo already on the ship. It gave them a quack and they shrugged their shoulders.
Right as they finished getting them aboard, a large explosion went off in the distance It was huge. "Looks like Baroque Works is a bit more resourceful than we thought," stated Zoro. "Do you think they have stronger members? I mean, the ones we faced were pretty weak."
"I really want to fight strong people," frowned Naruto, a bit upset. "Who knows, but I understand how you feel," shrugged Zoro. "Hey, are Usopp and Sanji aboard?" yelled Nami, running towards the ship.
"Yep," nodded Zoro.
"We even got a duck in case you all get hungry," smiled Naruto, pointing at Karoo, whom started to sweat in fear. Everyone hopped on board the Going Merry and the ship set sail.
They traveled through the dense fog. "Careful not to hit those rocks." "I know, thanks," smiled Nami. She suddenly froze. "Was that you, Naruto?" Naruto tilted his head in confusion.
They all turned around to see a beautiful woman wearing a purple cowgirl outfit. She sat on the railing of the deck and had a smile on her face.
"Who are you? Why are you on my ship?" asked Luffy. "It's you," gasped Vivi. "Hello, Miss Wednesday, or should I call you Princess Vivi?" smiled the woman. "You know her?" asked Zoro. "Hi, she is Miss All Day Sunday," glared Vivi. Nami blinked. "Whose partner is she?"
"Mr. Zero, the boss of Baroque Works, Crocodile," answered Vivi. Nami started to shake in fear, as just the idea of a pirate warlord after them was not something she liked one bit. Tell me, how is Mr. 8 doing?" smiled Miss Sunday. That smile, the same smile he wore when he was little.
This woman, she was not everything she was pretending to be.
He relaxed. She was not here to start any trouble.
You killed Ingram," yelled Vivi. Miss Sunday merely smiled.
The sound of a gun clicking was heard as Sanji and Usopp appeared on either side of her while Zoro grabbed the hilt of his sword.
"You know what is going on, Sanji?" asked Usopp.
"No idea, but it seems Miss Sunday is in a spot of trouble," replied Sanji.
A smile appeared on Miss Sunday's face before an invisible force knocked Sanji and Usopp away from her.
Zoro, Naruto, and Luffy were sent skidding backwards as well. "Please don't put your weapons at me, they are quite dangerous," smiled Miss Sunday. "Devil fruit user," shivered Vivi in fear. Miss Sunday continued to smile as Luffy's hat suddenly left his head. It landed on her head and he started to yell. She ignored him as she addressed Vivi.
"Here, this is for you," she said, tossing an eternal pose at Vivi.
The princess caught it and gave Miss Sunday a confused look.
"What is this?"
Vivi asked. "An eternal pose for the island closest to Arbasta.
The next island you are on way to is known as Little Garden.
A very dangerous island, best to stay away from it. That eternal pose will lead you down a path that none of the Baroque work agents know about it," explained Miss Sunday. "How do we know you are telling the truth?" asked Nami. "It sounds like a trap to me," said Zoro. A shattering sound was heard and all looked to see Luffy had destroyed the eternal pose.
Nami hit him in the head. "You idiot, we could have used that."
"You are not the one who decides where this ship goes," said Luffy, firmly looking right at Miss Sunday.
She tossed his hat back to him.
"Too bad, perhaps the next time we meet things between us will be different," Miss Sunday smiled. "No," said Luffy childishly.
Miss Sunday laughed a bit as she hopped off the deck and landed on a giant turtle.
She waved goodbye to everyone as her turtle disappeared into the distance. "Bye," waved Naruto, earning him a punch in the head from Nami. They had arrived at an island covered in snow and with chimney-shaped mountains. Nonetheless, they had arrived at an island.
Hopefully, it would have a doctor on it so that they could treat Nami.
She was getting worse, and if she didn't get treatment soon then they very well may lose her. "Look at all the snow," smiled Luffy widely. "What if there are snow monsters?" trembled Usopp. "It seems we are not very welcome here," said Naruto, looking at all the people that lined both sides of the rivers with guns.
Pirates, you are not welcome in these waters.
Turn around now and leave, ordered the tallest of the men wearing strange iron armor. He had a hard look in his eyes.
Hey, we didn't come here to fight.
We have a sick person on board that needs a doctor, yelled Luffy. Like we will fall for that one, yelled a man, his pistol aimed at the crew. Sanji took a drag from his cigarette. Man, they really hate us.
And we haven't even had the chance to meet them.
Shut up, pirate, yelled another man, firing his pistol. The bullet hit right near Sanji's foot, pissing the cook off.
Yo, you are going to pay for that.
Sanji was about to charge forward, but Vivi blocked his path. The man on the shore had been so scared by Sanji's sudden movement that he pulled the trigger of his gun on reflex. A bullet sailed forward right towards Vivi.
It never hit her as Naruto stepped in front of her, taking the hit. He didn't even flinch as the bullet buried itself into his arm.
Naruto, yelled Luffy.
I'm fine, said Naruto.
Luffy's eyes narrowed in anger and he was about to charge forward. No, stop, yelled Vivi, blocking his path.
Fighting is not the answer, Luffy. You can't always beat people up to get your way.
Vivi turned to face the people on the shores and bowed to her knees, lowering her head to the wooden boards.
Please, I beg of you. Our friend is very sick, and if she doesn't get treatment soon she will die.
Please, we mean no harm, begged the princess. The captain of the Straw Hat Pirates looked at Vivi, then at Naruto, who gave him a nod.
I apologize.
Please, we only wish to have a doctor for our friend, said Luffy, mimicking Vivi. The large man looked down upon them.
Very well, we shall lead you into town. Men, put your weapons away, ordered the man.
I told you, smiled Vivi. You are a strange one, replied Luffy.
Vivi ran over to Naruto and was about to take a look at his arm, but he shook his head.
The bullet had already been pushed out by hardening his bones.
I'm fine, Vivi-chan, grinned Naruto. She smiled, thank you. Naruto grinned happily. Break.
Zoro took a deep breath as he finished his weight training. He now looked down upon the 2-foot-long and 3-inch-thick bone that is lying on the ground. His eyes narrowed upon it as he calmly drew his sword.
You sure have been training a lot lately. What's up? Asked Naruto, munching on an apple.
I was weak back there. I couldn't even pierce through that wax.
Yet you could do it with ease.
If I am going to be the greatest swordsman in the world, then I have to be able to cut steel, replied Zoro, continuing his weight training. He was on his 2000th swing when a bone pierced the deck in front of him.
Zoro looked at Naruto curiously.
I can harden my bones to be as strong as steel or stronger.
Right, there is a bone that is as strong as steel.
If you can cut it, then you can cut through steel, explained Naruto. The devil fruit user smirked, good luck. He swung his sword downward and nothing. His blade rested against the bone, not even a scratch on it.
Naruto wasn't lying.
This bone definitely was as strong as that wax he encountered on Little Garden. It seemed he needed to do some more training. Vivi, Usopp, and Dalton.
Dalton-sama! Dalton-sama, shouted a villager.
Dalton turned to face the man. He gave Vivi and Usopp an apologetic look at being interrupted from their conversation. His eyes widened as he recognized the man as Don, who was supposed to be on watch.
Don, what are you doing here?
Has something happened? He asked, worried. The man panted heavily before collapsing to his knees. It was then he noticed that the man was littered with bruises.
He came back. He's back, shouted Don with a fearful look in his eyes. Wapple. He came back.
Don fainted in the snow.
Wapple?
Who is that? Blinked Usopp. Isn't that the man we met out on sea and tried to eat our ship? Whispered Vivi.
Oh yeah, said Usopp. Dalton's eyes narrowed in anger. Forgive me. But I must go. I will not allow our country to be ruled by that man anymore.
Vivi and Usopp yelled out, but Dalton took off at amazing speeds.
Nothing in the world would stop Dalton from forcing Wapol to leave. Chimney Mountain.
Man, it is cold, said Naruto, stabbing his bone claws into the side of the mountain. On his back, he was carrying the knocked-out Sanji. Beneath him, Luffy carried Nami. Why did this witch doctor have to live on the tallest mountain? Leaving the middle bone behind, he climbed another step using that bone as a foot placing. Times like these he loved that he had ate the Hon Hon no Mi. Without it, climbing this mountain would have been a real pain in the ass. Almost there, grunted Luffy. A fourth of the way left, yelled Naruto over the howling winds.
Who is he kidding? He loved having ate the Hon Hon no Mi all the time.
A strong wind came by and a bone came out of Naruto's middle toe, piercing the side of the mountain to give him an extra grip. Man, it's cold, he grunted, continuing his climb.
Stupid fat man with a metal jaw forcing him to carry the arrow cook.
Next time he saw that fat man, he is so going to kick his ass or toss him off the edge of the mountain.
Yeah, that sounded good. Castle on top of Chimney Mountain.
Nami opened her eyes to find herself staring at an unfamiliar ceiling. She slowly sat up and placed one hand to her forehead. Her fever had gone down. A smile appeared on her face.
Luffy had done it.
He had managed to get her up the mountain and to the doctor to be treated. Of course he had. Luffy would never let her down.
Never has in the past. She doubted he would start now.
I see you are doing better, my dear. Nami turned to see a rather old woman who moved like a young person sitting at a small table with a bottle of wine.
Who are you? Asked Nami.
Dr. Kureha, you can thank me later for saving you by paying me all the treasure and cargo on your ship, laughed the old woman. Nami's sweat dropped a bit because that is exactly something she would say.
Great, just how much of her money was she going to lose for this treatment?
Oh, she was so going to kill Luffy if he delivered her to a doctor that took all her money. You sure do charge a large sum of money for a single bug bite, said Naruto, entering the room. He looked at Nami and smiled.
Glad to see you are awake, Nami-chan. Dr. Kureha scowled. A single bug bite, you say?
That bug bite would have killed her had she arrived a day later.
Nami's eyes widened at hearing that.
Had she really been that close to death? From now on, she wore bug spray.
Maybe, we don't know that for sure.
This could all be a scam to get all our money, replied Naruto thoughtfully. A bottle shattered against his head, but it ultimately did no damage as he continued to look at her suspiciously. Soon a large bump grew on his head and he fell back with swirls in his eyes.
Stupid kid.
Good thing he is cute unlike those other two, smirked Kureha.
A light giggle escaped Nami. She couldn't argue with the doctor there.
Naruto may be an A-class fool, but damn, he is one of the best-looking men she had ever seen.
Not too muscular, not skinny, just right.
Too bad that bone ability of his gave her the creeps, or she might consider pursuing a relationship with him. Her head turned as she heard the sounds of a door opening and in walked a cute reindeer with a blue nose.
Where have you been, Chopper? It is your turn to keep an eye on them. I am going to get something more to drink, said Kureha, leaving the room. Chopper, an interesting name for a reindeer. Hi, smiled Nami.
The reindeer froze and started to sweat heavily. I have never seen a reindeer with a blue nose.
Yeah, it's really cool, smiled Naruto.
Slowly, Chopper turned his head to see Naruto waving and smiling at him. Ah, screamed Chopper, about to run. Two bones blocked his path and he turned his head fearfully, looking at Naruto, who had another coming out of his palm.
Don't be scared. I'm Uzumaki Naruto and that is Nami-chan, blinked Naruto. You know I don't know if Nami-chan has a last name. We all just call her Nami-chan. Hey Nami-chan, do you have a last name?
A bottle hit Naruto in the head and he gained a second bump within 10 minutes.
Idiot, grumbled Nami.
She turned to look for Chopper, but he was gone. A frown graced her lips as she had a feeling that he is no ordinary reindeer.
Break!
A screaming filled the castle, waking Nami from her nap. She slowly rubbed her eyes and sat up, wondering what all that screaming is about.
Her eyes fell upon Naruto, who was doing some sit-ups. What is going on? Nami asked tiredly.
Luffy and Sanji are trying to catch Chopper so they can eat him, answered Naruto.
Nami sighed, those idiots. Why did they have to do those stupid things while she slept? Better yet, why did they have to do those stupid things, period?
The door to her burst open and in ran Chopper.
He hopped right over Naruto. A second later, Luffy ran right over Naruto, swinging his head side to side. Hey, have you seen that reindeer? Asked Luffy. Ow, groaned Naruto. Why are you bothering the poor reindeer? Asked Nami, frowning.
He is to become our nakama, smiled Luffy brightly.
Oh? What if he doesn't want to be? She replied with a small smile. Luffy continued to smile. Of course he wants to be our nakama. I just need to find him.
He ran out of the room shouting reindeer.
Chopper came out of the closest, checking to make sure that Luffy is no longer around. You know, you should join our nakama. We really need a doctor, and if you came I could leave the bed early, smiled Nami. I can't, said Chopper, I'm a reindeer. With a blue nose. Nami frowned as it seemed that he had a rough past and didn't trust anyone. She could understand that. Yep, that is what makes you so cool.
A reindeer with a blue nose.
I wish I had a blue nose, smiled Naruto. Chopper froze, having completely forgot about Naruto. The young man started to laugh. Not only that, but you can talk too. Dude, you are like the ultimate reindeer. Come on, join our nakama.
Luffy burst into the room and Chopper screamed before running off.
Nami sighed while Naruto went back to his workout. Oh well, at least she had some eye candy to watch until she got better. She licked her lips as she watched Naruto do sit-ups with those perfect six-pack abs. Vivi and Usopp. Please be alive, Dalton-san, yelled Usopp, digging through the snow with his hands. An avalanche had struck the village, burying Dalton, who had been hit by several arrows when protecting the villages from Wapol and his mine. Who is he? Asked Zoro. Stop standing around and help dig, yelled Usopp. Zoro stood there doing nothing as everyone else kept digging through the snow. I found him. Dalton-sama. Dalton-san. Castle on Chimney Mountain. Dr. Kureha had just finished telling Chopper's story to Nami and Sanji. Nami had a sad look in her eyes as she heard Chopper's story. To be hated by everyone just because he is a little different. That was just horrible. Chopper burst through the doors in his beast form, doctoring. He is here. Wapol is back. There is a cold look in Chopper's eyes. I see, said Kureha, putting down her bottle of wine. Outside, Naruto stood across from Wapol and his two minions. He smirked widely as he would finally get a chance to pay back that fat bastard. To think that he had just come out here to do some training. Since training inside the castle was to confine for the true extent of his abilities. This was turning out to be a great day. You again. What are you doing at my castle? Demanded Wapol. Your castle? I thought it belonged to that old lady, blinked Naruto, confused. Watch your mouth, yelled a familiar voice before Naruto was kicked in the head. He face planted right in the snow with swirls in his eyes. Dr. Kureha, the only doctor to escape from my doctor hunt, glared Wapol. Kureha smirked. This castle isn't yours anymore. It doesn't belong to a bunch of spoiled brats like you. Leave this country. The Drum Kingdom is no more. What? Glared Wapol. Wait. All turned to see Luffy running out of the castle. I am going to kick his ass. No way. I wanted to kick his ass, yelled Naruto. Luffy stopped. Oi? Ah, come on. You got to kick his ass last time. Remember on the ship. I should get to kick his ass this time, pouted Naruto. Wapol started to seethe in rage as they spoke as if he wasn't even there. But, I want to kick his ass, said Luffy. Jaken, smirked Naruto. Luffy grinned and the two started to play. Koreha and Chopper watched with a sweat drop as Naruto and Luffy played Jaken. Sanji came outside smoking a cigarette.
I take it they are arguing on who gets to kick whose ass, he said knowingly.
Aha, yelled Naruto triumphantly. Ah, but I wanted to kick his ass, pouted Luffy sitting down in the snow. Naruto grinned widely as he rolled his neck. He then started to stretch his arms and legs before pointing at Wapol, his fingers forming a gun. Bang! Wapol was sent flying as a blunt finger bullet hit him in the forehead with such incredible force. Chopper and Koreha were wide-eyed in disbelief. Sanji just continued to smoke while Luffy pouted about how he wanted to kick the fat man's ass. Wow, I didn't realize I had fired it with such force, blinked Naruto. He had used a dull bone so that it wouldn't break the skin. Did he just shoot one of his finger bones? Asked Chopper looking at Sanji. Yeah, he ate the Hon no Mi. He's a monster, smirked Sanji. Chopper's eyes widened before he looked at Naruto. A monster, like him. Oi, I can beat up the other two, right? Yelled Luffy. Aren't you cold? Said Sanji, putting at Luffy's outfit. Luffy blinked as he suddenly turned around. So can I? Idiot. Don't look over there. I'm cold, shivered Luffy. I just said that. It's negative 50 degrees Celsius, yelled Chopper. Luffy ran inside to find something warm to wear. Wapol glared angrily, you bastard. I am going to eat you. Naruto tilted his head before pointing his fingers at Wapol. Wapol, Chess, and Koromaru's eyes widened before they started to run for cover as Naruto fired multiple shots at them. 5 minutes later, all three lie on the ground riddled with bruises and holes. It is kind of boring, pouted Naruto as he took a seat on the ground. Fool, now I will devour you, yelled Wapol running forward. Chess and Koromaru couldn't move due to several bone bullets hitting them in the legs. Watch out, yelled Chopper as Naruto just sat there. Wapol smirked as he widened his mouth to swallow Naruto whole. Not a smart idea, said Sanji, shaking his head. Just as Wapol was about to close his mouth around Naruto, he froze. Bones popped out of his back and the back of his neck. Koreha smirked while Chopper's jaw hit the ground. A scream of pain erupted from Wapol as he fell to the ground. There Naruto sat with 2 feet long bones coming out his shoulder blades, head, arms, and chest. They retracted and Naruto scratched the back of his head. How come I always get the weak people to fight? First the guy with the boogers, then the strange girl with the paint, and now this. It isn't fair, grumbled Naruto lying back in the snow upset. Oi, where did everyone go? Blinked Luffy coming back out. Bastard, this isn't over, glared Wapol, somehow managing to survive his wounds. Hey Luffy, you can beat him up now. I am bored, yawned Naruto. Luffy smirked, alright. Gomu Gomu no pistol. A powerful punch hit Wapol right across the jaw and sent him flying into the distance. He became a speck in the sky as he was knocked clear off the island. Wapol-sama, whispered Chess and Koromaru weakly as they tried to crawl after him. Sanji walked over to them and with 2 kicks knocked them out cold. Hee hee, that felt good, grinned Luffy happily. Is this the strength of true pirates? Thought Chopper in awe. Koreha started to laugh as she pulled out a bottle of wine to drink. Monkey D, Luffy and Uzumaki Naruto, they reminded her so much of that one man she met 23 years ago. Alright, time for you to become our Nakama, smiled Luffy, pointing at Chopper. One day later, castle on Chimney Mountain. Reindeer. Where are you? Reindeer, yelled Luffy. Give it up already, sighed Usopp. He doesn't want to become a pirate, said Zoro. No. He is our Nakama. I want him to come along, replied Luffy. That is what you want, you idiot, yelled Zoro. The sounds of someone walking towards them made all turn around.
Nami, Vivi, and a deadweight Sanji came out just in time to see the scene.
Chopper stood there with his head down before looking up at Luffy. "You're back. Come on, let's be pirates together," smiled Luffy.
"I can't," replied Chopper.
"No, it's not. It's fun," said Luffy. "You haven't even heard his reason yet," yelled Zoro. Stuttered Chopper, I am a reindeer. With antlers, and hooves, and a blue nose."
The reindeer shouted, holding back his tears.
"I want to be a pirate. But I can't be the nakama of a human, you know? I'm a monster. Someone like me can't be your nakama," he yelled.
He calmed down a bit and with a slightly defeated look in his eyes.
"So, I'm here. I'm here to say thanks." "Thank you for the invitation," sniffed Chopper. "Shut up," yelled Luffy loudly. "Let's go." Chopper's eyes started to tear up and he slowly nodded. "Yeah. A new nakama," cheered Naruto happily. "Since when is shut up an invitation?" smirked Zoro. "Break!"
Luffy, yelled Sanji angrily, as he stomped out of the kitchen. The Straw Hat Pirate was sitting on the ground, putting on an innocent look, or at least trying to.
"Luffy, look at me. Mind telling me where the rations I saved for us have gone?" Luffy looked away from Sanji and started to whistle. "I don't know," he answered. A tick appeared on Sanji's forehead. "Liar. You would suck at poker."
"Why, Sanji, I am hungry," groaned Luffy.
Sanji kicked Luffy into the side of the deck. "I guess we better fish," said Usopp around a mouthful of food.
"Yeah," agreed Chopper, eating a mouthful of bread.
Karoo quaked in agreement as he ate some food too.
Naruto nodded as he ate a sandwich he had made.
Sanji put on a fake smile as he walked over to the three.
"Yes, get to fishing," he smiled before slamming all four of their heads together.
Vivi smiled a bit at their antics as Sanji headed inside to check for any remaining food to cook.
She looked ahead and her eyes widened. There was a large cloud of smoke. Her eyes widened as she was about to run inside, but a calm voice stopped her.
"Don't worry, what you see ahead is nothing to worry about," said Nami calmly. "Really?" she asked, calming down a bit. "Hi. See, under the ocean there are volcanoes that produce magma. When that magma hits the water it produces steam, as you see now. They are called hotspots," explained Nami. "Volcanoes under the ocean," blinked Usopp. "Yep, that is right. In about 1,000 or maybe 10,000 years from now there will be a new island here," smiled Nami. The Going Merry went right through the cloud of steam. All of them started to cough while Naruto was smart enough to go inside, as that steam really grated on his enhanced senses. When they made it through, Luffy and Usopp yelled as a strange man dressed as a ballerina wearing a swan outfit was hanging onto Karoo, whom they had started to use as bait. "Ah!" yelled Usopp. "Is it a mermaid?" blinked Luffy. "Looks like a swan," said Naruto, scratching the back of his head. "Ah! What am I doing holding onto the spot-billed duck?" yelled the ballerina man. He slipped off the duck and into the water. "Help! Help me, I am a hammer in the water." A few minutes later, the crew had rescued the strange ballerina man. He was covered in water but otherwise fine. "Thank you, I am in your debt." "By the way, may I have a warm bowl of soup?" smiled the man. "We don't have anything." "We are hungry too," yelled Luffy, Usopp, Zoro, Naruto, and Chopper. "Oh, well then I guess I will just have to wait here until my ship comes back for me," smiled the man, twirling on his toes. "You said you were a hammer in the water? That mean you ate a devil fruit?" asked Zoro. "Yes. I ate the main no me, would like me to show you," smiled the man, getting into a strange stance. Vivi stood on the upper deck looking down at the strange man. Luffy cheered for his show, making the man smile widely. "All right, here we go." The man slammed his right palm right into Luffy's face. The whole crew tensed, thinking he was about to try something. What are you doing? Yelled Zoro, drawing his blades. Wait. 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 Don't attack me, it is all part of my show, said Luffy, or an imitation of Luffy. The real Luffy got up and was surprised. It's me, he exclaimed. Yes, you see, with my fruit powers I can imitate anyone. With my left hand I return to normal, smiled the man, returning his face to normal. I don't actually have to hit anyone. Watch. One by one he started to transform into the entire crew along with some other people until he stopped at Nami. See, I can imitate the body as well. He opened up his shirt to show off Nami's fabulous teacup-sized breasts. Nami knocked the man over the head with a red face. That's enough, she shouted. The man stood up unharmed from the hit. Oh, there is my ship now. Farewell, my friends, I must be going, said the man, hopping onto the railing. Oh no, don't go, cried Luffy. Yeah, stay, yelled Naruto, Usopp, and Chopper. Don't cry for me, for friendship isn't how long you know a person. It is how much you have enjoyed each other's time, smiled the man as he hopped onto a swan-shaped boat. Mr. Banplay-sama, shouted the crew. Let us be off, my crew, shouted the man now known as Mr. Two. The Straw Hat Pirates were stunned. That man was one of their enemies? He is Mr. Two, gasped Usopp. Does that make him an enemy? Blinked Luffy. Vivi, are you okay? Asked Nami, worried. One of the faces from his memory was the face of my father, whispered Vivi in horror. Did you now know it was him? Asked Naruto. Vivi shook her head. No, I have never met the Mr. 1 or Mr. 2 pair. Just heard rumors that Mr. 2 worked alone, dressed like a ballerina and wore a swan outfit with Banplay written on the back. You should have recognized him, said Luffy, Naruto, Usopp, and Zoro. The power to imitate anyone. It is to the point where we can't even trust our own nakama, stated Nami, worried. Wow, that is pretty bad, nodded Naruto. All right. Now, food, groaned Luffy. Naruto's stomach grumbled as well. More important things to worry about, we got company behind us, smirked Zoro. They all headed to the back of the ship to see a fleet of ships. All had the mark of Baroque works on their sails. We are finally in our Basta's climate zone. Those are the villains that work for Crocodile, stated Vivi. Oh, the bad guys, smiled Luffy. We should take them out quick, said Usopp, manning the cannon. No, we will leave the small fry alone, smirked Zoro. Sanji nodded in agreement. There is much about our enemy we don't know, we can't go rushing into this. Got it, Luffy? Naruto, glared Nami. Naruto tilted his head in confusion. Why is he being yelled at? Luffy blinked. Huh? She growled and smacked him over the head. Zoro brought over white bandages for everyone. Tie it around your left arm, this way if we get separated, people like Mr. Two can't trick us, explained the swordsman. No matter what happens. The left arm is the mark of our nakama, shouted Luffy. Our Basta. I wonder if this place has good ramen, muttered Naruto, as they hid behind a destroyed building. They had seen Mr. 3's ship, so they couldn't risk going into town or they might be recognized. Plus, anyone here would recognize Princess Vivi, so she definitely could not be seen. The only two that wouldn't be recognized are Sanji and Chopper. Sanji had been elsewhere during the Little Garden incident and Chopper had just joined the crew. Is that all you ever think about? Grunted Zoro. Naruto scratched the back of his head, not much else matters. Zoro slapped his forehead, you're no different from Luffy. That itself is a scary thought. Nami sighed, it is so hot here. Our Basta is a desert kingdom. It is one of the hottest places in the Grand Line, said Vivi. Nami Swan. Vivi-chan, yelled a familiar voice. There came Sanji carrying a large bag with Chopper at his side. Soon the group started to change into the clothes that Sanji had bought to disguise them. Zoro and Naruto were wearing heavy clothes to hide their hair. Nami and Vivi were both wearing clothes of that a belly dancer would wear. Both women looked absolutely sexy, hot, whatever used you wanted to describe them. I hate wearing such heavy clothes.
It just gets in the way, grumbled Naruto, referring to his Hon abilities.
No choice, can't risk being identified, said Zoro, not happy about what he is wearing either. Nami looked at Chopper, whom looked sick. What is wrong with you?
The air, it stinks of perfume, groaned Chopper. Oh, you mean this, smiled Nami, spraying some perfume on herself.
Chopper yelled out angrily. So what's the plan now? And where is Luffy? Asked Sanji, lighting another cigarette.
That idiot, he is probably lost somewhere, grumbled Nami.
Naruto grumbled angrily, I am going to find some better clothes. I can't stand this. He walked off into the village, not bothering to wait for the others. The others watched him go with curious looks.
They had never seen him get so upset in the first place.
Now here he was getting angry over something as simple as clothes. Did heavy clothes like that really irritate him that much?
Right, well, we need to stock up on supplies anyway, said Nami. I am sure Luffy will turn up by then.
The others nodded and went into the village. Break.
Naruto grinned happily, this fits so much better. He didn't mean to bail out on the others, but they just didn't understand.
His skin is just got irritated by heavy clothing due to his Hon abilities.
Like Luffy, whose entire body is made about rubber inside and out, his entire body is made out of bones including his organs. That made his skin very dry, as a thin layer of bones is right underneath the surface of his skin. Heavy clothing really made him itch and heated up his body. It is already hot enough in this desert, he didn't need to be wearing heavy clothing to make it worse. He now wore a loose-fitting orange shirt, a pair of white pants, a pair of black reflective sunglasses, and his custom sandals. There now no one would recognize him. Paying the clerk, he walked out of the store. He kicked his sandals on the ground to make sure they were on tightly, then started to head back towards the others. A yelling sound filled the air and Naruto turned his head.
Get Straw Hat, yelled a group of Marines. Luffy, blinked Naruto.
Yo Naruto, grinned Luffy, running right by Naruto.
Shrugging his shoulders, Naruto ran next to Luffy.
So, why are we running from them? Asked Naruto. Smoky back there can turn into smoke. Attacks don't work, smiled Luffy. Oh, that sucks, said Naruto.
Luffy? Both turned to see Zoro.
Yo Zoro, smiled Luffy, turning and running towards them. You idiot, don't bring them this way until you lose them, yelled Zoro.
It's the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates. Get them. Smoker smirked, fall back. Straw Hat is mine. White out. A cloud of smoke came shooting towards Naruto and Luffy.
The two pirates increased their speed, but the smoke was gaining on them. Just as it was about to grab them, a burst of fire collided with the smoke, causing all to stop. The Straw Hat Pirates all turned around to see what had happened. Dude, that is so cool, grinned Naruto. I see you are still getting into trouble, Luffy, smirked the man wearing no shirt and a tattoo of a skull and crossbones with a white mustache on his back.
Ace? It's Ace.
You ate a devil fruit, smiled Luffy.
Ace smirked, yeah, the Maramara know me. Portugas de Ace, blared Smoker.
You get out of here. I will handle this, smirked Ace, lighting his arm on fire.
Okay. Let's go. Luffy took off running.
The rest followed him while Ace smirked widely, glad to see Luffy is alright.
You know that guy, shouted Nami. Yeah, he is my brother. Ace, shouted Luffy with a large smile.
Brother, shouted the crew.
So you can turn your entire body into fire?
Yep.
Cool, grinned Naruto. Ace smirked as Naruto reminded him of Luffy. Both didn't really pay attention to what around them, yet always seemed to know what was going on.
Plus, they never worried about the small things. Or the big things for that matter. Naruto grinned widely as he enjoyed the nice breeze that blew through.
He ate the hon no mi. That is a very rare paramecia fruit. I wonder if he realizes the true extent of its abilities, thought Ace. Then again, the Gomu Gomu no Mi fruit is very rare as well, only growing on the Gomu tree once every 50 years. He smirked. Luffy had done well in choosing his crew. Vivi came out from below the deck and walked up to Nami.
Nami-san, I was wondering if we could anchor the ship here for a moment.
Nami turned around to face her friend with a curious look. Why is that?
I would like Karoo to deliver an important message for me, said Vivi. Karoo turned his head and quaked.
Nami pulled the ship over and dropped anchor.
Karoo stood in front of Vivi, who held a letter in her hands.
Karoo, I need you to deliver this letter to my father.
It will let him know that I am alive, crocodiles is the true enemy, and that I have brought along strong-willed Nakama to help.
Can you do it? Asked Vivi. A quack of determination came from Karoo. Vivi smiled. Thank you.
You will have to cross the desert on your own.
She gave the duck the letter, then placed a water canteen around his neck.
Make sure to ration your water, smiled Vivi. You can do it, grinned Luffy. Karoo took off as fast as possible, leaving a cloud of sand in his wake.
Break. The plan will commence in 2 days.
Is everything prepared? Asked Crocodile, as he sat in his chair. Behind him was a large aquarium filled with crocodiles, and in front of him stood Miss All-Day Sunday. She smiled, hi, without any difficulties.
I have placed 150 billions on standby in Nanohana.
A slight pause.
Mr. 2 has been recalled as well. It seems he did not find Mr. 3. The rest of the remaining officer agents will be meeting at Spider Cafe at 8:00 for further orders, smiled Miss Sunday. Ah, very good, nodded Crocodile. It's past 5 already.
They should be gathering shortly, finished Miss Sunday. Crocodile brought his right hand up to his chin as time slowly passed by. Has the billions that were annihilated at Nanohana been replaced? He asked in a deep voice. Hi, I have already stationed new billions. I have Aramaki runners delivering out new orders to the billions, she replied.
Good.
That is favorable, he said with a cigar in his mouth. Yuba. The group had just made it to Yuba to find out that the rebel army had already left and was stationed at Cortia. Ace had left from the group, but not before giving Luffy a piece of paper. A piece of paper that Ace said would lead them to each other when Luffy reached the New World. They were now on their way to Cortia to stop the rebellion and royal army from fighting.
Or that was the plan. Luffy decided to suddenly take a break and sat down next to the tree.
Naruto was the first to stop and looked at his captain curiously.
What is wrong, Luffy-san? Asked Vivi, walking over to him.
Meh, I quit, said Luffy, closing his eyes.
Was drawn out from every.
Naruto and Zoro were the only ones to remain quiet, already understanding their captain's motive.
Quit, said Nami. What do you mean quit, Luffy-san? Asked Vivi, confused.
Come on, Luffy, we don't have time to cater to your whims right now, sighed Usopp.
We're going back, aren't we? Said Chopper. Damn straight we are, said Sanji. We are going to retrace our footsteps right back to Katoria and stop the rebel army. If 1 million people in this country clash, do you realize what that means?
He walked right over to Luffy and grabbed his shirt.
This is for Vivi-chan. So come on, let's go. Luffy grabbed Sanji's hand and tossed him, surprising almost all of them. Don't care. What the hell are you doing? Yelled Sanji. Vivi. Yes? I want to beat the crap out of Crocodile.
Luffy's eyes were hard and Vivi gasped in surprise, having never seen him so serious.
It was a bit intimidating.
If we stop all those rebels, will Crocodile stop?
Even if we reach Katoria, there is nothing we can do. We're pirates. You're better off going on your own. A silence reigned. Sometimes that idiot hits the nail right on the head, stated Sanji.
Luffy can really surprise us at times, nodded Usopp.
That's not it, spluttered Vivi. All you want is for no one to die in this battle. Not the people of this country.
Not any of us, continued Luffy. You're taking on a Shichibukai in a battle over 1 million people are willing to fight in.
And all you want is for no one to get hurt. Aren't you just fooling yourself?
He looked her right in the eyes as Vivi started to shake her hands clenching.
Nami stepped forward. Luffy, can't you try to understand Vivi's feelings? Nami-san, wait, said Sanji.
She looked at Sanji surprised as he usually always agreed with her. The hood fell from Vivi's robes and she had a hard look.
What is wrong with that? What's wrong with not wanting anyone to die?
People die, Luffy replied simply.
Vivi's eyes narrowed in anger and she walked over to Luffy.
A loud smack was heard as she hit the Straw Hat Captain.
Stop talking like that.
I won't let you say something like that again, she heaved heavily.
That is exactly what we are trying to prevent. Not the rebel army. Not the royal army. Not one of them is at fault.
So why does anyone in this country have to die?
It's all Crocodile's fault.
Luffy stood up and yelled as he leapt towards Vivi, then punched her across the face. Naruto stepped in front of Sanji, knowing how he got when any woman was hit or in the threat of danger. Then why are you risking your life? He yelled.
Oi Luffy, that is going too far, gasped Usopp.
Damn it Luffy, growled Sanji, but didn't get far with Naruto in his way. Vivi slowly raised up to all four before charging at Luffy and tackling him to the ground.
She started to hit him over and over again.
From looking at this country, what needs to be done most, said Luffy unharmed.
What of it?
She yelled, tears forming in her eyes.
It is even clear to me, he said, muffled through the hits. You think risking your one life is going to be enough?
Then what am I supposed to risk? Yelled Vivi. She continued to hit him. What am I? Her eyes widened in surprise as Luffy caught both her arms.
She lowered her head in defeat. I have nothing else to risk. Nothing. Luffy's eyes became enraged and with a surge of strength he flipped their positions. Try risking our lives along with yours. We're your nakama.
A stunned look appeared in Vivi's eyes.
We're your nakama, right? He said, lowering his voice. Tears streamed down Vivi's face.
She started to cry as Luffy patted the sand off his hat.
You're the one suffering the most, and you want to beat him up more than anyone else. Nami walked over to Vivi and kneeled down, putting her arms around the young teenage princess. Now tell me, where is Crocodile? Luffy said, standing up.
Rain Base. Captain, what makes you so sure that the Straw Hat Pirates will come here? Asked Tashigi after taking a sip from her cup of water. Sitting next to her was, as always, Captain Smoker. He had 2 cigars in his mouth as he drank his water. Just call it a hunch, he replied.
She frowned a bit. That didn't sound like him. Going on a hunch after a pirate that had managed to escape his grasp.
I don't know what Straw Hat has with Crocodile, but I know he is coming here to meet with him, said Smoker.
Crocodile?
But he is a government-sanctioned pirate, stated Tashigi. The two never noticed as Luffy and Usopp came shouting into the restaurant demanding water.
A pirate is a pirate.
Crocodile may pretend to follow the orders of the government, but I met him before he was one of the warlords.
That man is no one's tool.
He is using the government just as much as it is using him, said Smoker, having no lover at all for that despicable man. His eyes glanced to his right, and there drinking a gallon of water was none other than the person he had come here for.
Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy turned to look at Smoker. Usopp noticed the marine jacket and his eyes widened.
Naruto looked to the right and blinked, wondering who that man is.
Usopp and Luffy spit out the water in their mouths at the two marines.
It's you, shouted Luffy, pointing his finger. Straw Hat, growled Smoker.
Run.
Luffy grabbed the other 2 barrels of water and took off running with Usopp and Naruto right beside him. Tashigi, call the men, ordered Smoker as he gave chase. The other members of the Straw Hat crew were waiting patiently for Usopp, Naruto, and Luffy to return with the water. They heard yelling and turned to see Luffy, Usopp, and Naruto running right towards them with the Marines following close behind.
Luffy!
You idiot, don't bring them this way, yelled Nami. Luffy, Naruto, and Usopp ran right by them, run. The others quickly followed, cursing Luffy, knowing it was somehow his fault. As they ran, Luffy turned to look at Vivi.
Where is Crocodile?
There, in the casino, yelled Vivi, pointing ahead.
Right, everyone meet at the casino. I am going to kick Crocodile's ass.
Hi, they all split up, going in different directions.
Crocodile's lair.
How could you be so stupid? Only an idiot would fall for such an obvious trap, yelled Nami.
You fell into the trap as well, pointed out Naruto. That earned him a punch in the head.
They were all stuck in a small cell along with the Marine captain they had been running from.
Luffy felt so weak. The important thing is that I feel so weak. The Straw Hat captain collapsed to the ground extremely weak. Oi Luffy, what is wrong?
Are you hungry or something? Gasped Usopp. Smoker drew his jutty and before Luffy could react, nailed him in the head with it.
He then brought the head down upon Luffy's stomach. Luffy, yelled Nami.
Zoro gripped the hilt of his blade.
Naruto sat calmly, not worried about a thing.
You want to fight it, said Usopp, getting into a ridiculous karate pose. I helped Luffy take down a bomb man as a man. His voice got weaker by the second and he kept moving away from Smoker.
What the?
My strength's all drained out, said Luffy weakly. I feel like I fell into the ocean or something.
What did you do to Luffy? Demanded Nami.
It's his weapon, said Naruto, causing everyone to look at him.
It was one of those rare moments where Naruto acted serious. No games, no joking around.
The end of his jutty is made out of the same mineral as this cell, Kairoseki. No one knows much about the mineral, except that it has the same effect as the ocean does on devil fruit users.
Some call it the sea solidified or a sea stone. It even works against people like Smokey.
Smoker turned to face Naruto as he put his weapon away. You know a great deal about it for a lowly pirate.
Naruto grinned. Bob Sensei taught me all about things like that. Says it is one of the few known weaknesses of devil fruit users that the world government discovered. This is my first time seeing it up close.
Then that means you can't escape either, said Nami, looking at Smoker.
Of course.
Or I would have escaped by now, said Smoker, his eyes narrowing, but not before crushing you all so that you could never go out to sea again.
Zoro started to draw his blade. Wait.
You two can't seriously be thinking of fighting at a time like this, yelled Usopp.
He is a smoke man.
Your blades won't be able to cut him, said Nami.
That didn't make Zoro stand down for a second.
Naruto just continued to sit there, not saying a word.
She is right, said a deep voice.
All turned to look at the desk where the chair faced the large aquarium.
You are all going to die here together. Why not try and get along? Smoker lowered his weapon slightly. Crocodile. What? Gasped Luffy, his eyes narrowing.
The chair spun around and a tall man with short black hair wearing a large fur coat and a cut across his nose faced them. Luffy gritted his teeth, wanted nothing more than to kick that man's ass.
Usopp and Nami hid in the corner, fear filling their bodies. So, you are one of the Shichibukai, stated Zoro. Luffy tried to get up but his energy was all gone.
Our long-awaited host finally decided to show his face, glared Smoker.
Oh?
So the rumors about you being a wild dog are true then, Smoker-kun, smirked Crocodile.
You never thought of me as an ally. Of course, you were right. Smoker, I think I will have you die in an unfortunate accident. I'll inform the government you fought bravely trying to defeat this pathetic straw hat pirate. Crocodile walked towards the cage.
I don't know why you came to this country, but you are obviously acting of your own accord.
The government would never send you here.
They believe in the Shichibukai, you see. A punching sound was heard as Luffy tried to raise himself up.
So you're Crocodile? Luffy grabbed the cage. Oi you. Fight me.
The Straw Hat started to faint as he felt his power being drained.
Can't you get it into your head not to touch the cage? Yelled Usopp. Straw Hat Luffy. I congratulate you on coming this far.
I'll kill you in a properly timed, so please be patient. Our guest of honor has yet to arrive, smirked Crocodile.
Guest of honor, whispered Nami.
I've sent my partner to fetch her already, smirked Crocodile. A few minutes later, Nami gained a tick on her forehead.
Sanji impersonation, who ate all the meat, said Luffy pretending to be smoking a cigarette. Naruto and Usopp burst out laughing. None were laughing for long when Nami hit them all in the head and started to shout angrily. How can you act so dumb in a dire situation like this? But we can't get out, yelled Luffy.
Yeah, we're bored, agreed Naruto. It's dire because we can't get out. We might get killed at this rate, she yelled. Zoro started to snore as he fell fast asleep.
Why the hell are you asleep? Nami punched him in the head. Oh. Morning already, yawned Zoro, waking up. It's the middle of the day. Why was she surrounded by idiots?
You're an authoritative young woman, aren't you? Said Crocodile.
Yeah, what about it? Said Nami, hands on her hips.
Enjoy that little ego trip while you can, because once we burst out of this cage, that guy is going to knock your hide high above the clouds.
Isn't that right, Luffy? Hell yeah. Bring it on. Your crew puts a lot of faith in you as captain, doesn't it, Straw Hat?
Crocodile smirked. Trust. What a useless thing.
Nami glared and was about to say more when another familiar voice interrupted her. Crocodile. All turned to see Vivi at the top of the stairs leading down to Crocodile's private lair. Ah, welcome, Princess of Arbasta.
Or should I say Miss Wednesday? You have done quite a job slipping through the hands of our assassins.
I'd come to you. No matter where you hide. I'd come to see you die. Mr. Zero.
If you had never come to my country.
Oi, Vivi. Let us out, yelled Luffy.
Vivi grabbed her weapons and ran forward, charging towards Crocodile, then Arbasta would be at peace.
Peacock strike slasher. Crocodile didn't even move as the weapon came straight at his head.
It collided and his head exploded, leaving him headless. All were surprised except Smoker.
It's useless, sighed the Marine captain. Crocodile turned into grains of sand, yet his voice continued to speak. Are you satisfied?
Being from this country, you should already know that I have the ability of the Sunasuna no Mi. The sand started to gather behind Vivi. She froze as his arms grabbed her with his hook at her stomach and his bare right hand over her mouth.
Should I turn you into a mummy? Smirked Crocodile. Hey you. Leave Vivi alone. I'm gonna kick your ass.
He's a Sandman, shivered Usopp.
Reminds me of a song, muttered Naruto.
Nami hit him over the head and told him to shut up.
Take a seat.
Vivi was tossed into the empty seat across from where Crocodile sat with Miss Sunday behind her.
It is time to start the party. Isn't that right, Miss Sunday? Smirked Crocodile.
That's right, smirked Miss Sunday. She pulled out a pocket watch.
It is past 12. Time for Operation Utopia to commence. Crocodile started to laugh, ignoring the Straw Hats, who wanted to know what Operation Utopia is. Vivi started to shake in rage. What are you planning to do with Arbasta? Crocodile looked down at her with a look of superiority. Do you know what type of person I despise the most? Those who place happiness of others above their own lives. Hypocrites. You plan on killing my father?
You will never be able to accomplish that.
Don't look at me like that.
From his death I would gain nothing.
Cobra will experience a humiliation far crueler than death, smirked Crocodile.
A fate worse than death, stuttered Usopp.
This guy is really scary. The princess of this country shouldn't make such a scornful face, laughed Crocodile. I'll ask you one more time. What is Operation Utopia? Demanded Vivi. Oi, do you understand the position you are in? Answer me.
Well, the plan is already in motion.
I think I'll share it with you.
The plan to end this country's horrible existence, Operation Utopia, smirked Crocodile.
Nanohana. Your Majesty, stuttered the people. What did you just say, Cobra-sama? Spluttered another. There stood the king of Arbasta with 12 royal guards behind him. He had a hard look in his eyes as he addressed the people. I have a sincere apology to make.
I am the one who stole this country's reign, said Cobra. The people were stunned. Your Majesty, you shouldn't joke about things like that.
It is no joke. Cobra looked at them with a hard look. I used dance powder to make rain fall exclusively in the capital city of Alubarna. I, the lovely King Dash. I mean, royalty such as myself must not starve. That may be true, but because of you many people have died of lack of food and water. Your Highness, did you know, Dash? Of course I knew.
Many oases have dried up because of it.
But sacrifices are needed in order to protect the kingdom, said Cobra emotionlessly.
That is too selfish, Your Majesty, yelled a villager. One of the guards drew their guns and prepared to fire, causing all of the villagers to back up in fear.
Are you giving an opinion to me, the king? That is why I have come here to apologize. I have come all the way to Nanohana.
What more could you wish for? The villagers glared hatefully.
There is one another thing I have come to this city to say.
As you know, dance powder is prohibited under the world government. If word were to spread of its use, the Marine headquarters would mobilize and seize control of the kingdom.
That must be prevented. But you remember 2 years ago. Mass quantities of dance powder were found being smuggled into the country. That must never be spoken of again. Understand, said a villager. That means.
That is right, said Cobra, his eyes narrowed.
To erase all memories of that incident.
I shall erase this town along with its people.
A mass panic went through the people. Hey King! Cobra turned to see a small little boy with a hoe in his hands. It really is all your fault. Because of you stealing all the rain, all the towns are starting to dry up. Damn you! The boy charged forward, raising the hoe up. A powerful kick courtesy of the king sent the boy flying towards the villagers, who were once again in shock of his actions. Soldiers! Reduce the rotten city of Nanohana to rubble. The king, or Mr. 2, smirked inwardly as he had just put on the best performance of his life. It is a pity no one would know the truth. Such a performance should be known to all so that its greatness could inspire others. Crocodile's lair. Crocodile laughed coldly as he explained the first part of his plan. Vivi's eyes were in horror as he had revealed the first part of his plan to her. How? How could one person be so cruel? To just kill thousands of people and feel nothing? What do you think? Do you like my plan? The plan that you helped set up until now is in full bloom. If you listen carefully, I bet you can hear them shouting throughout Arbasta. Their one driving thought. We will protect Arbasta, laughed Crocodile. Luffy had a hard look in his eyes. Usopp and Nami were in fear at hearing what Crocodile planned to do. Zoro frowned as he leaned against the cell. Smoker and Naruto said nothing. They both remained silent with cold looks in their eyes. Stop it! How can you be so inhuman? Yelled Vivi, tears in her eyes. Doesn't it just move you to tears? Chuckled Crocodile. The love for this country will be what destroys this country. HHH, screamed Luffy, grabbing the cage of the cell and trying to break free. That guy's an idiot, said Smoker. Didn't he hear what I said? Zoro smirked. Yeah, he's an idiot. But that's why he is our captain. Crocodile. I am going to kick your ass. Fainted Luffy, his strength disappearing. That arrogant smirk never left Crocodile's face. I still remember all the hassle I had to go through to get this far. My maneuvers to incite the people by destroying their towns. Teaching my employees to be excessively abusive to draw the attention of the royal army. And do you know why I want your kingdom so badly? How could I understand what is in your rotten head? Glared Vivi, her voice dripping with hatred. He chuckled. You really are a foul-mouthed princess. The chair Vivi was sitting in fell to the ground and she fell face first. She tried to free herself from the ropes but was unable to do so. Oi, what are you doing, Miss Wednesday? I'll stop them. I can still make it in time. Aliabarna is directly east of here. If I can get to Aliabarna before the rebel army, then I can stop them. No matter what, I will not allow your plan to succeed. Crocodile chuckled, amused by her antics and words. A clicking sound was heard. Crocodile and Miss Sunday turned to see the door to the cage open up. Luffy, Smoker, Usopp, Nami, and Zoro all looked at Naruto, who had a key in the shape of a bone coming out of his point finger. Yeah, now that I know your plan. No real point in staying in the cage. So Luffy, still want to kick his ass? Smirked Naruto. Impossible. You shouldn't be able to use your powers, blared Crocodile. I'm just full of surprises, grinned Naruto. Two bone handles emerged from his shoulders. Gomu Gomu no pistol. A fist hit Crocodile right across the face, and like when Vivi hit him, it exploded into sand particles. It reformed instantly, with Crocodile looking extremely bored. Did you really think that would work? Stated Crocodile. I am going to kick your ass, yelled Luffy. Nami, Usopp, get Vivi out of here, ordered Zoro, drawing his blade. Nami and Usopp didn't need to be told twice as they grabbed Vivi and prepared to run. Crocodile appeared in front of the trio. I don't dash. Keep going, yelled Naruto, slicing Crocodile in half vertically. You're starting to annoy me. Miss Sunday, said Crocodile, reforming but being hit multiple times in the chest by Luffy. Miss Sunday turned towards Vivi, Nami, and Usopp, crossing her arms as she prepared to stop them. Not this time. Her eyes widened as Zoro hit her with the back of his blade, sending her flying into the wall. Crocodile narrowed his eyes. I believe I have played with you enough. Now you will learn what someone who has mastered the true extent of their devil fruit powers is capable of. Luffy and Naruto ignored his words and charged forward. Crocodile, using his Sunasuna abilities, moved faster than they could follow. Naruto was knocked away and a squelching sound was heard. Zoro and Naruto froze as they saw Luffy impaled right through the stomach on Crocodile's hook. Fool, you should have stayed in the cell. I might have made your death painless, smirked Crocodile. The Shichibukai winced in pain as Luffy grabbed his wrist. Not over yet, wheezed Luffy. Crocodile scowled as he tossed the weakling aside. White out. A cloud of smoke came from Crocodile's right, slammed into the man. Ha, Smoker-kun. Did you really think that your powers would have any better effect? Laughed Crocodile. Smoker glared as his arms reformed. Just like when he fought Ace. Their powers had no effect against one another. Hon hon no spear, shouted Naruto, seething in rage. The skin on his arm started to ripples as a long thick spear emerged from his palm. He glared hatefully at Crocodile and spun it around above his head before bringing it down, pointing at the Shichibukai. It's pointless, just accept your inevitable death, sighed Crocodile, becoming annoyed. We'll see about that. Naruto reared back his fist, turned his body, tossing the spear to the right. A confused look appeared in everyone's eyes. The spear traveled through the air and hit the glass that kept the water and those giant crocodiles out of the room.
It pierced right through the glass and water started to leak in.
Crocodile's eyes widened. Did you think I didn't notice how you winced in pain when Luffy grabbed your wrist?
I then realized that his water jug had been destroyed and it got on you. Your weakness is water.
A grin appeared on Naruto's face. Though Smoker didn't show it, he smirked inwardly as well. Everyone has a weakness, that is what I was taught. If I can't beat you, then I will at least make sure you die with me. Hon hon boomerang.
The skin on his back rippled as two bones in the shape of boomerangs emerged from the back of his shoulder blades. Crocodile charged forward, but Naruto already threw both boomerangs just as Crocodile grabbed him around the neck.
Each boomerang hit the glass, causing dozens of cracks to spread out from the point of impact.
The glass shattered as water started to rush and filled the lair.
Now I will turn you into a mummy, then I will kill everyone else in this room, glared Crocodile.
Naruto felt himself being drained. Crocodile watched happily as the man who almost ruined all his plans started to dehydrate. A splash of water hit his back, followed by a powerful punch sent Crocodile flying away from Naruto, who fell to his knees breathing heavily.
Don't think this means anything, said Smoker.
Naruto didn't hear him as he started to drink the water that had rose to his ankles and sighed in relief. Man, that last attack sure did make me thirsty, groaned Naruto.
Naruto, we need to get out of here, shouted Zoro carrying the injured Luffy.
Right, thanks again Smokey, but time to go.
Naruto took off running. You aren't going anywhere, glared Crocodile.
He jumped up out of the water, then turned into sand and appeared in front of Naruto. Naruto kicked up some water that hit Crocodile in his eyes, blinding him for a second.
That is all Naruto needed to delivering a spinning jump kick across Crocodile's face.
The Shichibukai was sent flying into the water, getting drenched in the process. By Croc, finish our fight later, okay? Yelled Naruto, running up the stairs where Zoro was waiting.
Rain base. Are you sure they are okay? Worried Vivi.
They'll be fine, lied Nami with a false smile. She is just as worried as Vivi, but there is little they could do. If anyone had a chance of beating Crocodile, it was those three and Sanji. Thought she had no idea what Smoker would do in terms of fighting. The Marine captain seemed to hate Luffy, and he might help out Crocodile as the man is a Shichibukai.
Here they come. Usopp yelled, pointing in the direction.
Luffy, they all yelled. See Zoro's left shoulder covered in Luffy's blood. He's fine, just needs some medical attention is all, said Zoro running past the group.
Naruto came running by them next. Let's go. None of them needed to be told twice and started to run. Which way to Alyaburna? The other way. Directly east, said Vivi. Naruto and Zoro paused, turned around and ran in the opposite direction. Idiots, frowned Sanji. What happened with Crocodile? Yelled Vivi. Found his weakness, couldn't finish him off.
Seawater drained my powers and Luffy was injured, said Naruto, giving the Cliff Notes version.
He has a weakness, said Nami, surprised. Zoro nodded. Yeah, it's water.
Don't know how that is going to help, seeing as there is no water in this entire kingdom.
The others looked grim at hearing that last part. It is true, there was no water in the kingdom.
It hasn't rained for 3 years. They exited the city, and it was then that Naruto stopped. The others turned to look at him as he looked around.
What are you doing? Yelled Nami.
Where is Chopper? Blinked Naruto.
Ah! Chopper! Yelled Usopp, looking all over.
The ground started to shake and a huge mountain of sand started to rise in front of them. All tense think it would be Crocodile, but then the sand fell away to reveal a giant red sand crab the size of a building. It had a strange smile on its face.
Hi guys, yelled Chopper on top of the giant sand crab. Chopper. Cool crab, is it fast? Grinned Naruto standing next to Chopper.
Yep, he has agreed to take us to Alyaburna, smiled Chopper. Chopper, yelled Zoro, leaping on top of the crab and placing Luffy gently on its back. Luffy needs to be bandaged up. A horror-filled look appeared in Chopper's eyes as he ran over to Luffy while Sanji helped the others up onto the crab.
Amazing, none of his vitals were hit, gasped Chopper as he pulled out his medical supplies. This crab's face looks a little shady, frowned Nami. What kind of crab had such a large Sanji-looking grin on its face? And was it just her or did it keep looking at her and Vivi? Let's get going.
We need to get to Alyaburna quickly, said Vivi urgently.
Right, said Chopper as he finished bandaging Luffy up. He told the crab to get moving and it took off running sideways.
Vivi smiled because at this speed they would reach Alyaburna in no time.
She felt something grab her waist. Ah! I don't think so, yelled Naruto, shooting forward. He grabbed Vivi and tossed her to Sanji while allowing himself to be carried away by the gold hook. Go, I'll catch up to you all later. Naruto gave them a large fox-like grin.
The claw carried Naruto all the way back to where Crocodile and Miss Sunday were waiting.
You, glared Crocodile. Naruto dusted off his pants and grinned widely as he looked at Crocodile. Hee hee, I'll have to apologize to Luffy later. I know how much you wanted to be the one to kick your ass, but I guess I get to have that fun instead. Miss Sunday had an amused look in her eyes. Crocodile narrowed his eyes. This man had been the one to almost foil all his plans not too long ago. Fortunately, he managed to escape Captain Smoker before the Marine captain could take full advantage of the situation down in his lair. I will go ahead to Alyaburna to make sure everything is going according to plan, smiled Miss Sunday. Fine, said Crocodile. Naruto appeared in front of Crocodile and slashed him in half with a bone sword. As before, it had absolutely no effect. See how you handle this, Tsubaki no Mai, Naruto hands blurred as he delivered a series of thrusts and slashes at blinding speeds. Crocodile had a bored look in his eyes as he reformed from every strike. He then slashed Naruto across the chest with his claw spraying blood. Naruto jumped backwards, ignoring the cut across his chest. You're quite talented. A powerful swordsman from the look of it, but no match for me. Now I will kill you for disrupting my plans, said Crocodile, raising his claw. Desert Spada, he stabbed his hand into the ground. The ground split by an invisible sword that Naruto just barely dodged. Damn, can't get hit by that, mumbled Naruto. Everyone has a weakness. Crocodile's weakness is water. Only problem is he had no water. Man, this sucked. How could he beat this guy up with no water? You shouldn't freeze up in battle, said Crocodile from behind Naruto. He stabbed his hook forward, but it never hit Naruto's body. You're not the only one who trained their devil fruit power, smirked Naruto. Crocodile frowned as he saw his claw being stopped by a group of bones coming out from Naruto's back. A surprised look appeared in Naruto's eyes as he noticed something. You have a tear in your jacket, said Naruto. How sad, have you become so desperate that you are now looking at my clothes, scowled Crocodile, tearing his hook free. He made a slash at Naruto, but the young man rolled out of the way. Hon pistol. Several bone digits hit Crocodile and he winced. What? Gasped Crocodile. Naruto grinned. It isn't just water. It is any liquid. Even a person's blood. What are you talking about? Blared Crocodile. A bone slowly moved out of Naruto's palm. At the very tip is a small amount of blood that dripped to the ground. Unlike other devil fruit users, my abilities cause me constant pain whenever I use them. It doesn't hurt to manipulate my bones while inside my body, but there is a small bit of pain that I have learned to block out when the bone breaks the skin. It causes a small amount of blood to bleed on the tip of all my bones, explained Naruto. He tossed the bone spike and Crocodile moved his head, but a small cut opened across his cheek. Now I can fight you. A fox-like grin appeared on Naruto's face. I don't think so. It is time I end this game. Desert Girasol. Crocodile stabbed his claw into the ground, creating another massive split. Except this time, the area all around the split started to cave in and turn into quicksand.
Naruto tried to jump away, but a blade of sand cut his chest open, making him scream in pain.
Ha ha ha. Out of everyone I have faced, you are the only one to be truly able to cut me. Too bad you were foolish enough to join Straw Hat's crew. I could have used someone like you, laughed Crocodile as Naruto was swallowed up by the sand. Not only would he be buried, but the depths of the sand would crush those bones he prized so much. Crocodile prepared to leave, but a shaking sound made him turn. Suddenly, Naruto burst out of the middle of the sand, long bones coming out of the bottom of his feet. Hon hon, no stilts.
Naruto shot high into the air before leaping off and landed several feet away from the quicksand.
I just made that one up. Pretty cool, huh?
Crocodile gritted his teeth in anger, growing tired of this nuisance.
All right,
I'm ready to fight, grinned Naruto, running towards Crocodile.
I am going to kill you. Crocodile is about to turn into sand when Naruto touched his hand to his bloody chest and flicked his blood at the Shichibukai. The blood hit Crocodile across the face. Naruto reared back his hand and punched Crocodile right across the face. Get ready to get your ass kicked, you bastard, yelled Naruto.
He created a bone knife and slashed open his chest a couple times. The blood drenched his hands. Crocodile tried to get up, but a fist to his gut made him cough up some blood. Naruto followed it up with a right hook, then delivered 3 more jabs to the stomach before Crocodile knocked him across the face with his hook. Both of them were panting heavily. Damn, losing so much blood is affecting my vision, cursed Naruto. I worked too hard to let a weakling like you stand in the way of my goal. Time to die, roared Crocodile, raising his hand up. A sand tornado started to form above him. Naruto saw double of the man as the blood loss got worse.
Die!
The tornado headed right for him and he tried to escape, but it slowly sucked him in. Naruto felt his strength leaving him.
Shit, am I really going to lose to this bastard? He always envisioned dying while fighting the strongest of the strong. Not some bastard who had a lame ability to turn into sand. Naruto blinked as he suddenly found himself in what seemed to be some type of hallway. In front of him lay a large cage. Where am I? A dark laughter filled the air. He frowned. Why did that voice sound so familiar? So, we finally meet again. That voice, he knew it.
His eyes widened as memories suddenly returned to him.
Freak! Demon! Kill him!
Naruto ran as fast as his little 5-year-old legs could carry him.
He kept running, not even looking back.
Release me, and I will make them go away, whispered a soothing voice.
Who said that? Said Naruto as a beer bottle hit the ground right in front of him.
He surprised himself as he was able to jump a clear foot into the air over the glass and continue running.
Trust me. If you release me, then I will make sure no one ever bothers you again.
You will be free, trust me, said the voice.
It's a dead end up ahead. That demon has nowhere to go. Okay, I release you.
Please help me get out of here, shouted Naruto. His body froze as dark crimson chakra swirled around him.
Ah!
The little boy screamed as his body was ripped to pieces by the vile chakra. That is all he could remember before everything went black.
Konoha! That is his home.
A ninja village where the villagers seemed to hate him. He gripped his head in pain.
You!
Who are you? Demanded Naruto. His eyes hardened as a pair of blood-red eyes appeared behind the cage, followed by a row of extremely large and deadly teeth that would make a shark jealous.
I am the one who gave you what you desired most.
A place where you were free from those ungrateful villagers.
It is I who gave you a new start.
If not for me, you would have never known what it is to have a family or nakama, growled the voice.
Naruto stood down. Whoever this is.
He couldn't deny that truth. In the village, he had been hated and beat constantly. This person had granted him a chance at a new life where he finally gained family, friends, and nakama.
But he wasn't stupid. It seemed that whoever this is finally wanted to be repaid. What do you want? Asked Naruto, a bit more respectful. Freedom. Yet it is something I will never have. This seal is even more powerful than you can imagine. My power alone and your will not break it. Therefore, I want another favor. I have given you all that you desired. In return, I want you to kill a man for me. This means returning to your world, growled the voice. You plan on sending me back even if I don't agree, don't you? The dark voice laughed. Of course. Why would I let you continue to have what you desire when I cannot have what I desire? Naruto had no choice. If he didn't agree, he could lose his nakama and all his friends. Okay, I will kill this man for you, but you have to promise to bring me back here. Back to my nakama after I do so. A silence reigned between the two. Naruto stared fearlessly into the blood-red eyes of the beast behind the cage. Then we have a deal. When you are strong enough, I will send you back. You kill the man I loathe and I return you back to your nakama. Do we have a deal? Smirked the beast. We have a deal. A deep laughter filled the chamber and Naruto felt a vertigo feeling. He found himself back outside just as the sandstorm was about to devour him. A strange new power burst through his body. All his wounds healed in a matter of seconds and he felt even stronger than before. In a blur he disappeared. Crocodile's eyes widened as Naruto appeared behind him with his fists reared back. A red aura surrounded the boy as he glared at Crocodile. Hon hon no bone knuckles. A layer of bones formed over Naruto's knuckles, making it seem as if he were wearing a pair of white brass knuckles. Pain. That is all Crocodile felt as Naruto's fist connected with his face. Blow after blow rained upon Crocodile as Naruto was relentless. By the time he finished, Crocodile lay on the ground in unimaginable pain. Naruto fell onto his back, panting heavily. That power, it started off feeling like the beasts he had met, but then it started to convert into his own. He didn't like to rely on someone else for strength, but there was no deny that without that power he wouldn't have one. I don't want your power, thought Naruto, somehow knowing it could hear him. Don't be foolish. You are weak without me. Then let me be weak. I know you wouldn't rely on someone else's strength, so at least respect my choice to rely on my own strength. A moment of silence before he heard a growl. To transport you here. A part of my strength became yours. I merely awakened it so you wouldn't die. If you die, I die. I don't plan on dying anytime soon. Naruto could tell that the beast wasn't lying. The way it spoke in distaste at admitting that he possessed some of its strength let him know that the power he had used had been his own. A fox-like grin appeared on his face. He couldn't wait to learn how to control that power, but right now, he had to get to Alyaburna. His nakama were waiting for him. Can't just leave him here, sighed Naruto, tossing Crocodile over his shoulder and starting his slow trek east. Captain! Captain Smoker, shouted a Marine. Smoker looked up from his seat on the ship and turned to look at the man. Had Toshiji and the others returned? What is it? He grunted. The Marine saluted. Sir, we just found the Shichibukai crocodile. As we were searching the far side of town, we came across Crocodile pinned to a building by what appeared to be bones. Smoker's eyes narrowed. So, that man who ate the Honhon no Mi had been able to defeat Crocodile after all. If that isn't enough, Luffy had defeated Nico Robin, and Roronoa Zoro had defeated the assassin Das Bones according to the reports. A bunch of pirates had saved the entire kingdom of Arabasta. It made him sick just thinking about it. Make sure he is properly subdued, ordered Smoker. Hi sir, saluted the Marine, running off to carry out his orders. Smoke let out a large cloud of smoke as he leaned back in his chair. Things were going to change from here on out. Alyaburna. Vivi looked out the window of her room with a worried look in her eyes. It had been 2 days since the rebellion had been stopped and the truth had been told to the people.
Ingram, Pell, her father, Luffy, and the rest were all safe. But still one person had yet to show up.
Naruto, thought Vivi.
Luffy and the others seemed confident that Naruto would be fine, but she couldn't stop from worrying. "Why are you helping me?" asked Vivi, surprised.
"You're cute and you did do a nice dance for me," winked Naruto.
A blush heated Vivi's cheeks. "But mostly because that dude with all the curls asked me to." She couldn't even count the many times he had saved her life. Or cheered her up with his silly antics. Him and Luffy were always making her laugh. He had become like a big brother to her.
"Please be safe, Naruto-kun," whispered Vivi. With that last prayer she went to check on Luffy.
He was still sick with a fever from that wound he received from Crocodile. Not to mention Nico Robin had proved to be quite the formidable opponent.
"Going merry."
A loud yawn escaped Naruto as he woke up from his 30-hour-long nap. He stretched out his arms and legs. That nap sure did hit the spot. Jumping to his feet, Naruto started to perform some stretches. He needed to stay loose.
A growl came from his stomach and he grinned sheepishly. "I'm starving."
Naruto walked over to the side of the deck, but making sure to stay out of sight of the marine ships that were patrolling the area.
"Hey buddies, do you have any fish you can share with me?" he yelled.
Out of the water burst a whole tribe of kung fu dugongs. They started to do their martial arts that Luffy had taught them before tossing about 10 fish onto the Going Merry.
"Thanks guys."
A few minutes later, each fish was being cooked over a fire while at the end of one of Naruto's 10 bones. He sat comfortable waiting for them to finish.
"Do you want some too?" asked Naruto, turning around.
Out the galley came the familiar face of Miss Sunday, who had a smile on her face. "Have you known I was here the entire time?" asked Miss Sunday, pulling out the lawn chair and lying back on it.
"No.
Not really, I was speaking to the dugong over there," said Naruto, pointing to the dugong sitting on the railing.
A light chuckle escaped Miss Sunday.
She had revealed herself when he had honestly been speaking to a dugong.
"Do you want some?" Naruto held out a bone with a fish on it. "Thank you, but I am not very hungry at the moment." "Tell me, do you mind if I stay aboard under secret at least until your crew escapes from Arabasta?" smiled Miss Sunday.
A curious look appeared in Naruto's eyes as he scratched the back of his head. He then shrugged his shoulders.
"As long as you don't start a fight." "I don't see a problem," grinned Naruto before taking a bite of his fish. Miss Sunday smiled, "Thank you." Nighttime, Aluberna Castle.
After a magnificent feast and a nice dip in the hot baths, the Straw Hat Pirates had finally decided that it was time to go. "Tonight," said Usopp, wanting to stay longer.
"Why so soon?" asked Chopper. "I think it is a good idea," agreed Zoro.
"Yeah, the Marines are starting to get bolder with their approaches," agreed Sanji.
"What about Naruto?" "He has still not returned," frowned Nami.
The others fell silent at that.
The door to the room opened up and in walked Vivi.
"Vivi," smiled Luffy.
Vivi smiled, "I brought you some good news.
I have received reports from our contacts in Nanohana that Crocodile has been captured. He was found lying in the middle of the street pinned to the ground by a set of bones."
The crew smirked or smiled at hearing that news. "Yeah. Naruto kicked Crocodile's ass," cheered Luffy.
"Unfortunately, reports are that Miss Sunday or Nice Robin managed to escape from the Marines. Not only that, but the Going Merry has disappeared from the coast." "I am afraid she might have taken your ship," said Vivi with an apologetic look. "Arabasta could not just lend them a ship in this situation, or the Marines might get the wrong image."
Luffy laughed, "Nope. Naruto has it." "Huh? How can you be sure?" asked Vivi. "Oh come on."
"Where else is Naruto going to go?" smirked Nami. Zoro nodded in agreement. "That idiot probably went to the ship looking for food and moved it once he saw some Marines."
Sanji inclined his head in agreement as he smoked his cigarette.
Vivi smiled. If they had faith in Naruto, then so would she. She just wished she would be able to see him one last time to thank him for defeating Crocodile.
Nanohana Coast. I let them handle things on their own and this is how they repay me? I am unhappy. Hina unhappy, said a beautiful woman with pink hair and wearing a red tailored suit. Over her arms hung a merino coat. She turned to look at the two next to her. Has everything been prepared? The two saluted. Hi, ma'am. A 30-ship fleet has surrounded the docks. No ship can go past without first being searched by us, reported one of the Marines. Ma'am, bad news. The vessel belonging to the Straw Hat Pirates that was sighted at Irumalu is gone, the Marine spoke nervously. She remained calm. You are telling me that they already fled the country? No, they dash. Then find it. Search coast to coast, ordered Hina. Sandora River. Luffy. Nami-chan. Chopper. Zoro. Arrow Cook. Usopp, yelled Naruto waving at his nakama. Sanji glared at Naruto. Naruto, yelled Luffy, Chopper, and Usopp tackling their friend and nakama. They all started to do a happy dance. How embarrassing, sighed Nami with a warm smile. I have been waiting for you. Ah-ha-ha-ha-ha, yelled Mr. 2 or Bon Clay. All turned to look to see Mr. 2 jump on the edge of the boat. Oh yeah, he wanted to talk to you about something. I forget what it is though. He said he talked to you over a den mushi, said Naruto scratching the back of his head. What is it now, said Sanji getting annoyed. What do you mean, what is it now? Is that any way to talk to a friend, yelled Bon Clay upset. Friend? You are our enemy, not friend. You tricked us, replied Luffy. No. I didn't know either, said Mr. 2 sitting down on the railing. Besides, Baroque Works has crumbled. So that is all in the past. We are no longer enemies. Ha! But didn't you try to steal the ship until you realized I was on it, pointed out Naruto. See, you are no friend, yelled Luffy. Silly man, smiled Bon Clay with a shake of his head. What was that? Yelled Luffy raising his fist threateningly. If I wasn't on the ship right now, what do you think would have happened to it? Yelled Bon Clay. Nami placed her bags on the ground, the Marines might have taken it. Luffy's eyes widened in horror. No, might have. It would have definitely been taken. Do you know what is happening on this island right now? It's entirely blockaded by Marine ships. So then, you protected the Going Merry from Marine ships, yelled Luffy. Nami chose to keep quiet that Naruto could have steered it away from the Marines. It really didn't matter this point as long as they managed to keep the Going Merry out of the Marines' hands. Why? Asked Usopp. What for? Yelled Chopper. Bon Clay smiled widely with tears in his eyes. A slight sparkle shined off his teeth. Because we're friends. He gave them a thumbs up. A second later, the four of them were dancing while Nami sighed. Everything on board? She asked. I, nodded Sanji. So, if the Marine has a blockade, does that mean you saved our ship to use us to escape? Said Zoro. I never even thought of that. I figured we would blast our way through, blinked Naruto. Nami punched Naruto over the head. Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper had betrayed looks in their eyes as they stopped dancing with the transvestite. Yes. Because we need each other. Because of the times of which we live in. In the name of sacred friendship, let us combine forces to escape, yelled Bon Clay, overly dramatic as always. Yeah, yelled Luffy, Naruto, Usopp, and Chopper. Suddenly the ship of Bon Clay appeared and the crew yelled out their thanks. Marine ship. Toshiji exited her cabin to find Smoker in his usual seat smoking 2 cigars. Smoker-san, she said. Hey little miss, said Smoker. She walked over to him and looked to see 3 new wanted posters on the table.
I have seen the new bounties, said Toshiji, taking a seat as her eyes fell upon the one that had Roronoa Zoro. Smoker blew out a cloud of smoke, their numbers suit them. Monkey D. Luffy, wanted dead or alive 90 million berry.
Roronoa Zoro, wanted dead or alive 60 million berry. Uzumaki Naruto, wanted dead or alive 85 million berry. It doesn't seem to make sense since Straw Hat-san lost against Crocodile whereas Uzumaki-san defeated him.
At least that is what is assumed, frowned Toshiji.
That is true.
But Monkey D. Luffy took out Nico Robin and several high-ranking agents in Baroque works. Don't forget that Nico Robin has been wanted by the government for 20 years and has a bounty of over 70 million berry on her head. Her bounty is just as high as Crocodile, which is why his went up so much from defeating her.
Toshiji nodded in understanding.
Your friend Roronoa supposedly defeated over 50 bounty hunters at Whiskey Peak along with Uzumaki Naruto.
Roronoa also defeated the infamous assassin Das Bones originally from West Blue. She said nothing as she stared at the picture of Roronoa.
Her eyes hardened as she would become stronger and defeat him.
That is a promise. Break. The Marines aren't following us anymore, said Zoro. He folded his arms across his chest and looked upon the crew.
They were all lying on the ground with their heads between the railing.
So why are you all down? Were they unhappy because Mr. Two had sacrificed himself to help them escape Black Cage Hina?
No, Sanji and Nami would never be that down about not having some male transvestite around. We miss her, they all exclaimed.
A tick appeared on Zoro's forehead.
Then you should have tried harder to make her join us, he yelled. Idiots, if they wanted Vivi to stay then they should have made her.
You Neanderthal. You suck. Moss head. Baka. Santuryu. Usopp blinked. Luffy, that isn't an insult.
Santuryu is a sword style.
Yanturyu. No, you only added one. Try something like you stink, that is an insult.
The door to beneath the deck opened up and a familiar voice was heard.
Oh, have we managed to escape from the Marines?
Miss Sunday walked out and everyone but Naruto gasped in surprise.
Here for revenge? Bring it on, shouted Zoro.
Why are you here? Yelled Nami, clutching her bruised head as they all hit the railing in their surprise. Take cover, said Usopp with a megaphone that suddenly appeared in his hands. Chopper ran around scared. Soon the crew gathered together and surrounded Miss Sunday. Each of them had their weapons pointed at her except Sanji, who was love-struck, Chopper, and Naruto, who sat on top of the railing.
Zoro's and Nami's weapons were knocked out of their hands.
Don't point those dangerous things at me.
Didn't I tell you that before? Smiled Miss Sunday.
She walked over and grabbed the fold-out lawn chair.
How long have you been on the ship? Asked Nami.
Since Naruto-san was so kind enough to invite me on at Nanohana, smiled Miss Sunday. Now everyone turned to look at Naruto, who tilted his before grinning sheepishly. I didn't think anyone would mind, he scratched the back of his head.
Idiot, they yelled. Miss Sunday turned to face Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy. You aren't forgetting what you did to me, are you?
A shocked look appeared on Sanji's face as he grabbed Luffy and started to shake him.
Luffy. What did you do to this beautiful lady? Oh, you. Don't lie.
I didn't do anything, frowned Luffy.
Didn't you beat her up, Luffy? Said Naruto. Luffy blinked. Oh yeah. Sanji kicked Luffy over the head, having not known that. Yes, you did.
You put me through some very excruciating treatment, said Miss Sunday, reclining on the chair.
Take responsibility. Sanji hit Luffy even harder while Chopper hid, wondering who that woman was.
Usopp continued to yell for everyone to leave while he called the Marines.
What do you want me to do? Said Luffy, confused.
She placed on hand on her cheek.
Allow me to join your nakama. Ha! Sure, that was Sanji, who agreed instantly. Back then.
You forced me to live when I wanted to die.
That is your crime. I have no place to go or return to. So are you going to let me stay on your ship? Said Miss Sunday. I get it. I guess that is that. Okay, said Luffy. Luffy. Great. Naruto remained silent.
Luffy smiled at his nakama. Don't worry. She is not a bad person. About 10 minutes later, the crew was doing their thing. Usopp was sitting across from Miss Sunday at a small table. Okay, I have a few questions for you. Answer them truthfully. What is your full name? Asked Usopp. Naruto, Luffy, and Chopper were playing with the arms Miss Sunday had created. Nico Robin, smiled Miss Sunday, amused.
Nice to meet you. I am Usopp, bowed Usopp.
She smiled as she leaned forward on the table.
What is your occupation? I am an archaeologist. Archaeologist? I come from a long line of them.
Usopp started to write it down on his piece of paper. He asked her to continue, which she did. I became an archaeologist, then I became wanted by the government when I turned 8. For the past 20 years I have kept myself hidden from society, she explained.
Since you were 8?
And you were alone that entire time, blinked Usopp.
Not exactly.
Over the years I worked for certain villainous characters as a way of protecting myself and achieving my goal. That's the story, said Robin, tilting her head to the side.
Would you say Crocodile is one of these people? Asked Usopp nervously. I would.
In order to locate the Rio Poneglyph, she said calmly.
Rio?
It has given me a lot of experience in covert operations. I can be a real asset to you all, smiled Robin, leaning forward. You seem really confident in yourself. What do you specialize in? Asked Usopp curiously. She smiled. Assassination.
Luffy, yelled Usopp, sweating profusely. This interview has concluded she is way too dangerous to allow to join our crew.
A stomping sound was heard. Robin and Usopp turned to look at Nami, who looked suddenly much more confident.
Pathetic. Look how you are allowing her to walk all over you. She was the vice president of an enormous criminal organization until this very day.
Give me one good reason why we should let her join us, demanded Nami. Well, I did manage to bring some of Crocodile's treasure before I escaped the Marines, said Robin, pulling out a small bag full of gold and jewelry.
Nami's eyes turned into money signs. Robin Neeson, you are more than welcome to stay.
Zoro and Usopp's sweat dropped as they watched how easily Robin had manipulated Nami.
Usopp, look. I'm Chopper.
Usopp turned to see Luffy with a pair of arms sticking out of the side of each head with the hands forming antlers. Zoro gritted his teeth as Usopp burst out laughing and joined the others. The swordsman turned to see Sanji serving Robin tea and cursed inwardly.
Looks like it is up to me to keep an eye on her. Hey Doc, I got something you might want to see, shouted Grim with a small smirk.
Dr. Higurashi turned to look at his friend with a curious expression. He took a seat in one of the stools as Grim reached under the table. Grim slapped down a bounty hunter poster in front of him.
Looks like that brat of yours is becoming quite famous. Rumor is he took down a Shichibukai.
Not bad for a rookie. A smile appeared on Dr. Higurashi's face as he looked down at Naruto, who had a fox-like grin on his face and holding up a peace sign.
Laughter erupted from the doctor as he looked at the picture. I would like to buy everyone a round of drinks. This is a joyous occasion.
A large cheer came from all the patrons in the bar. Dr. Higurashi smiled as he looked down at the picture of the boy who had become his son in all but name.
Bob would be proud, my boy. Going merry. Konoha, thought Naruto, sitting on the railing and staring up into the night sky.
He liked to sleep with the others usually, but tonight just wanted to be left alone to think for a bit. All his life, he had wondered where he was from. Who his parents were. What happened to him to make him lose his memory? He finally had his answers. His home village, the village hidden in the leaves. A place where he could remember nothing but misery and pain. The people had hated him. Why? He had no idea. They merely called him demon, freak, and murderer then, as if a ritual beat him whenever they had the opportunity. The only happy memory he had of that place is Ichiraku's ramen.
Ayam-chan and her father had always been kind to him.
Always giving him free ramen when he was low on money and even giving him some clothes to wear. They were who had helped him find happiness or a semblance of it in that hellhole. No wait, the Sandame had been kind to him too. That old man had always tried his best to make him smile. He saw the old man to be the grandfather he always wanted. Naruto sat up and stared down at his hands.
If they had thought him a demon before, what would they say now with his hon abilities? Stop sulking, boy. You are a pirate. What do you care what they think? Just kill the man I want you to kill and you will be back here before you know it. Never have to see those disgusting humans again, growled the beast. Naruto grinned, the beast is right. Didn't Bob-sensei always teach him to screw what other people thought and live the way he wanted to live? Going back to Konoha would be no different. A simple side quest on his adventure. He planned on traveling the entire Grand Line with his nakama, and a bunch of ninja weren't going to stop him. No one is going to stop me from having the greatest adventure ever, grinned Naruto. Break. Why are you wearing my clothes? Blinked Naruto.
They fit rather nicely, smiled Robin. She was wearing a blue buttoned-up shirt and a pair of black pants.
But, they are mine, pouted Naruto. Robin smiled. I realized that, Naruto-kun. Is it okay if I wear them? Naruto grinned, sure. That earned him a hit in the head.
Why were you making a big deal of it then? Yelled Nami with a tick on her forehead.
Is that rain? Blinked Usopp, holding out his hands.
I don't think so, said Sanji, looking up.
Hail, said Usopp.
No, it looks like dash. All their eyes widened as they looked up to see a giant ship 3 times the size of the Going Merry falling down towards them. It crashed into the water right behind them, creating massive waves. More debris continued to fall as the waves shook the Going Merry violently.
Brace yourselves. Don't let go of the ship, shouted Zoro. What?
What is this? Yelled Nami, grabbing the mast.
A dream.
It must be a dream, shouted Usopp.
A dream.
But Dash Chopper never finished as he and Usopp crashed their heads into another.
More keeps falling, yelled Sanji.
About 20 minutes later, all the debris had stopped falling and they all looked to see the giant ship resting in the water upside turned over topside.
Naruto scratched the back of his head. Why is there a ship falling from the sky?
It is a mystery, said Sanji through narrowed eyes.
Damn, the Grand Line sure is scary, shivered Usopp in fear. Chopper nodded in agreement as he too is shaking in fear. What is wrong, Nami Swan? Nami frowned, something is wrong.
The log pose is broken. It keeps pointing straight up and won't change.
What is going on, she wondered. That isn't it.
An island with a stronger magnetic field is causing the log pose to change its needle. And since it is pointing up, the log pose seems to have been taken by Sky Island, said Robin.
Sky Island, they all shouted. Luffy gained an excited look. There is a floating island in the sky?
But there is nothing in the sky that looks like an island, stated Zoro, looking up. I wouldn't say that, explained Robin. To be more precise, there is a floating sea up there.
That is so cool. We have to go see it, grinned Naruto. Yeah, yelled Luffy.
Naruto and Luffy were silenced by a pair of arms covering their mouths. I don't know much about Sky Island as I have never been there myself, finished Robin.
Of course, it is all impossible.
There is no way a sea or an island could be floating in the sky, argued Nami. The log pose is broken. Robin had a hard look in her eyes. No, Miss Navigator.
No matter what danger befall you. No matter what panic you should face.
One must never doubt the log pose.
That is the ironclad rule of the Grand Line.
What you should be doubting is your common sense. Wherever that log pose points, there is sure to be an island.
You must merely find a way to get to it. Nami frowned as she looked down at the log pose.
Crocus had said the same thing when first telling about how navigation through the Grand Line worked.
Break! Naruto burst out laughing as he looked at Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy.
He continued to laugh as tears streamed down his eyes. They were wearing barrels as scuba gear as they prepared to go down into the ocean and salvage the large ship that fell out the sky.
"Shut up!" yelled Zoro angrily. "Ha ha 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 ha! Oh no, the talking barrel has spoken. Run!" Naruto burst out laughing some more. Robin and Nami put their hands over their mouths to hide their own laughter.
"I am going to kick your ass," growled Zoro.
"No! Don't do it, Barrel-san! Spare me!" Luffy started to laugh too. "Why are you laughing?"
"You're wearing this stupid thing too," yelled Zoro.
"It's funny," laughed Luffy. "Okay, that is enough," smiled
Nami. "It is time for you all to go down there and salvage that ship."
"Hi," the three said. "You sure this is safe?" asked Sanji.
"Yep, my designs are perfect," said Usopp confidently. The three nodded before jumping down into the ocean.
Naruto wiped the tears from his eyes. "We should have made them do a dance." "Oh, can we make them do it when they get back up?" Robin giggled while Nami smirked. "That would be extremely funny." Chopper's ears twitched as he heard a sound. He turned and looked to see a ship approaching them in the distance. The rest turned to look as well as the singing and instruments had drawn their attention.
All of them sweat dropped as they looked at the ship that is in the shape of a giant monkey with a pair of cymbals.
A whistle blew and the ship came to a stop.
"Yash, is this where the ship sunk?" yelled a monkey-looking man.
"Hi, boss."
"Then prepare to raise the ship.
That sunken ship is now the property of the boss of the Masira pirates."
"The Salvage King, Masira," shouted the monkey man.
Nami sighed. "Why do all the weirdos show up when they are least needed?" "Hey you! What are you doing here? This is my territory." "Territory?" "Yeah. Any ships that sink in this area are mine." "You better not be trying anything funny over there," yelled Masira. "Excuse me," smiled Nami, getting an idea. "Can I ask you a question?" Masira blinked. "Oh, you want to ask me a question? Very well, you may ask one. Are you going to salvage this ship?" "Hee hee, you must think I am monkeyed over."
"Monkey-overed?" blinked Nami, confused.
"Yes, it means I am a handsome man." "Don't you think so?" smiled Masira. "Sure."
"Liar," coughed Naruto.
That earned him a punch to the head. "Oh, you're too kind." "Yes, I am going to salvage it. If there is a sunk ship, then I am the one who will raise it up. And if it is floating, then I will sink it, then pull it back up." "Really? Can we watch?" smiled Nami with fake stars in her eyes. Masira smirked proudly. "You want to watch? Very well, sit back and watch."
"There is no ship that my crew can't salvage."
Naruto scratched the back of his head. "I really want to destroy that monkey ornament.
You know, just to see it explode and everything." Nami raised her fist and punched him straight into the deck.
"Don't even think about it.
They are about to do all our hard work for us.
If you screw this up, I will kill you." Naruto nodded vigorously before hiding behind Robin. "She is scary," he thought. Jaya Island.
They were unable to find anything of use on the sunken ship, but Robin did manage to steal an eternal log posed to the island of Jaya.
There they would ask around to see if anyone knew about Sky Island.
Naruto and Robin had left the ship together and were now walking through the town full of pirates. Everywhere they looked, people were fighting for absolutely no other reason than to fight.
Robin glanced down at Naruto and wondered why he seemed so emotionless.
She knew that he enjoyed a good fight more than anyone else in the crew. She had been the one to secretly watch his fight with Crocodile at least for a short time, and throughout the whole fight he had a look of pure joy in his eyes.
So why is it he didn't join in on the fighting here? Why for that matter had he decided to travel with her instead of Luffy, Zoro, and Nami? He is exactly like Luffy. Impossible to read or predict.
Yet at the same time he could also be very much like Zoro when it came to training and always wanting to push past his current limits.
Naruto truly is a unique individual. This town doesn't look like it has any good food at all. I bet they don't even have ramen, said Naruto randomly. It is a pirate town.
All they care about is their own selfish desires. Come, I want to buy some new clothes before looking for information on Sky Island, smiled Robin.
Hi, smiled Naruto. An hour later, they headed back to the ship. Robin wore a brand new purple outfit along with a purple hat and black high heel boots.
Naruto was carrying a couple more bags for her. They walked aboard the Going Merry to see Luffy and Zoro a little worse for wear.
Oi, what happened to you two? Asked Naruto curiously. He tilted his head as he looked at Zoro and Luffy. Robin-chan, yelled Sanji.
Where have you two been? Demanded Nami angrily. I went to buy some new clothes, provisions, and find information on Sky Island, smiled Robin.
One of her hands appeared in front of Luffy and held a map in it. Here you go, Captain.
A treasure map, said Usopp.
It is a map of Jaya Island. Right now we are located in Mocktown.
On the other side is an X where an outcast lives, she explained.
Outcast, said Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji. Robin smiled, his name is Mont-Blanc Cricket.
He was outcast for spouting about his dreams.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Luffy smiled, let's go. Naruto scratched the back of his head. He did not remember Robin asking anyone about a guy named Mont-Blanc or purchasing a map.
Well, he did drift off for a second to eat an apple from such strange man riding a horse. And then when he turned around, Robin came out of a bar where the other occupants ran away from her in fear.
Nope, couldn't remember when she got that map.
Oi Naruto, you paying attention? Asked Usopp.
Ha? Me?
I'm fine, how are you? Smiled Naruto. Usopp sighed. Naruto and Luffy were much too similar.
Mont-Blanc Cricket's house. Ah. What a ripoff, yelled Luffy.
Yeah, it's just a board, not a palace, yelled Naruto just as upset. They had arrived at the man's house to see this huge palace, but in truth it was just a large board in the design of a palace.
It was actually just half a house. Why was this man labeled an outcast? Asked Nami.
I don't know the whole story, admitted Robin, but apparently he believed that there is a mountain of gold somewhere on Jaya Island. Gold, smiled Nami with money signs in her eyes.
Hey, you never did tell me who beat you up? Was he strong? Should I got back there to kick his ass for picking on my punching bag? Asked Naruto. Zoro gained a tick and punched Naruto in the face. I am not your punching bag. Naruto blinked, oh? But you have never beat me in our spars. You haven't beat me either, asshole.
Hee, I forgot about that, grinned Naruto, scratching the back of his head.
Luffy.
Zoro and Naruto turned around to see a large man jumped out of the water after pulling Luffy into it. They were about to go help Sanji fight the man when he collapsed to the ground breathing heavily. He's sick, get some cool towels, shouted Chopper, as he transformed into his hybrid form and carried him inside the house.
Naruto and Zoro shrugged their shoulders as they sat back down. Chances are that was Mont-Blanc Cricket the man they were searching for.
Neither of them were good when it came to asking civilly for answer, so they decided to leave that to the others.
Hey, do you think there is a way to harm people like Smokey without tossing him into the ocean, using sea stone? Or some like of weakness that Crocodile had? To hurt them using physical attacks? Asked Naruto. I don't know, answered Zoro.
He could already tell this is one of those rare moments when Naruto was being serious.
Zoro raised an eyebrow. Why?
It just seems to me people that eat Logia-type devil fruit can't be harmed except for the ocean or some weakness. There has to be some type of universal power that everyone has that with the proper training one can use to harm such people.
You know what I mean? Besides throwing them in the ocean or using sea stone, said Naruto. He had been referring to the beast's power, though Zoro had no clue.
Somehow, with that power he had been able to land solid blows on Crocodile. A power, since that incident, he had been unable to call upon.
The beast claimed to have awakened it inside of him, but why couldn't he call upon it anymore? That would be nice, but sometimes you just can't harm someone.
I'll still fight them because I refuse to die lying down like a dog, shrugged Zoro.
Nah, everyone has a weakness.
No one is invincible, grinned Naruto. The sound of running made them look up to see two monkey men running towards the house. This island sure is filled with strange people.
Nighttime.
Luffy, Nami, Naruto, Usopp, and Chopper's eyes went wide as Montblanc revealed his gold treasure that he had found while diving.
There were 3 golden ingots and a golden statue of a south bird.
Gold, smiled Nami with money signs in her eyes. In ancient times, many ships used to use south birds, smiled Masira. Suddenly Masira, his brother, and Montblanc gasped. Oi, you all need to hurry into the forest and capture one of these birds, said Montblanc.
Luffy blinked. Why? You plan to ride the knockback stream tomorrow afternoon, right?
It is directly south of here.
How do you plan to reach it?
Oi, we just sail south, said Luffy firmly.
This is the Grand Line. Nami's eyes widened. Since we are not sailing to an island, we will have no way of knowing which direction we are heading in. How do we find it? Some animals have an innate sense of direction. A southbird is a prime example of this. No matter where it is or what happens, it will always point in the same direction. You can use this to find your way, said Montblanc.
His eyes became hard.
If you don't find one, then you will miss your opportunity to get to Sky Island. Ah! Why didn't you tell us this sooner? Hurry, we have to find that bird. All the Straw Hats ran out into the woods. You have until morning to find that bird.
While you are searching for it, we will repair your ship, said Montblanc. A snoring sound came from behind them. The 3 turned and gasped as they saw Naruto sleeping peacefully on the mats inside the house. He continued to snore without a care in the world. Naruto was having a pleasant dream where he was sleeping on the Going Merry while a nice breeze blew through his hair. Strange, most people would dream about other things, yet he dreamed about sleeping.
Something he is already currently doing. He frowned as loud noises came from outside. What is all that noise? Hey, where are the others? Yawned Naruto, standing up.
He rubbed his eyes as he headed outside. His eyes narrowed as he saw the old man and the 2 monkeys lying on the ground beat up.
Ha ha! How pathetic!
The Sarayuma alliance is nothing but an old man and a couple of monkeys, laughed Sarquis. Montblanc coughed up some blood. You don't have the right to touch that treasure.
Sarquis narrowed his eyes. The right? What do you know about the right? A true pirate doesn't go chasing after dreams. He takes what is his by force. Now I will show you the right. He ran forward and went into a rapid spin. Just as he was about to declare his attack, an orange blur stepped in front of Montblanc and stopped the blade. All of the Bellamy's pirates' eyes widened. Sarquis stood there frozen in the air as Naruto held the blade between his fingers.
With a twist of his wrist, the blade broke in half and Naruto tossed it aside.
Oh! Looks like we got a tough guy, smirked Bellamy before laughing. Naruto had a cold look in his eyes. He turned his back on Sarquis, not sparing him a second glance. That gold. Hand it over, it doesn't belong to you. Bellamy grinned widely before he started to laugh along with his crew. Doesn't belong to me, hey? If you want it, why don't you come and take it? Teach this punk a lesson, Bellamy.
Yeah, stopping my blade was just a fluke, smirked Sarquis.
You okay, old man? Asked Naruto, turning his back on the pirates. Montblanc grunted as he rose to his knees, then sat down Indian style. Yeah, can't believe I allowed myself to get beat by some shitty-ass weaklings.
They shared a smirk which pissed Bellamy off.
Ignore me?
Let's see how tough you are after I get done with you, smirked Bellamy, his legs turned into springs.
He bounced off the ground at high speed straight into the forest, where he started to bounce off the trees, increasing his speed even more. Nothing but a blur he became to the naked eyes. Time to die.
Bellamy sprung off the fake board, causing a large hole to be formed in it as he did so. Naruto had his back to the pirate who came straight at him.
Bellamy reared back his fist and threw it forward.
Naruto spun around his own fist, reared back, and threw it forward. Their two fists collided against one another. A sickening crunching sound was heard. Every single bone in Bellamy's arm shattered upon contact, and his arm bent all the way backward. Naruto raised his foot up and slammed it down on Bellamy's head. Bellamy hit the ground, forming a decent-sized crater. The entire crew of Bellamy pirates started to shake in fear as Bellamy lay on the ground, knocked out cold.
Bellamy! Quit joking around and get up, yelled Sarquis, his body starting to shake in fear. Naruto looked up and straight at the remaining group.
They all took a step back in fear at the cold look in his eyes. He reached down, picked up Bellamy, and tossed him at Sarquis.
Bellamy hit the ground in front of his first mate. Leave. Never come back or you're next.
Sarquis gritted his teeth as the others picked up Bellamy and ran away in fear, with him soon following.
If there is one thing Naruto hated, it is people who look down upon others. Bellamy didn't realize how lucky he had been to escape with his life. Not bad, kid, smirked Montblanc, standing up. The two monkey brothers soon got up as well. Time to get back to working on the ship. Naruto yawned and stretched out his arms, smacking his lips together. Sure, what do we need to do? He asked. This is awesome, yelled Naruto.
He hopped onto the railing and grinned widely.
I can't believe it. We are actually sailing on clouds. Little did he know that a certain fox inside of him couldn't believe it either.
Yash, we made it to Sky Island, cheered Luffy with a large grin of his own.
Naruto and Luffy started to do a celebratory dance. Nami couldn't believe her eyes either.
They were actually sailing on an ocean of clouds. This should be impossible.
Yet here they were doing it.
The log pose is still pointing up, she said.
Then we must be right on top of the cloud.
I am sure if we need to go higher, then another route will reveal itself, smiled Robin.
Naruto grinned as he sat down on the railing. I didn't think this day could get any better. First I find out I got my very first bounty, which by the way is higher than yours, Zoro-kun. Zoro glared at Naruto, fingering the hilt of his sword. And now we are sailing on the clouds. I can't wait to see Sky Island. The clouds started to shake and out of them burst several sea monsters.
Zoro charged forward, drawing his blades and slicing the octopus 4 times. To his surprise, it burst like a balloon instead of being separated into pieces. Sanji took care of the other with a kick to the head, knocking it out cold.
Strange fish, blinked Usopp, hiding far away from the snake-like monster.
Robin examined the fish. It seems that the fish in the clouds have adapted living in such an environment by making their bodies less dense. That would explain why that octopus popped like a balloon, nodded Nami in agreement.
Chopper looked through the binoculars and smiled. Oi, another ship. And a person?
His eyes widened in horror as he watched the bullman destroy the ship.
What did you see? Asked Zoro.
The reindeer turned towards Zoro, shivering in fear.
A ship, but then a bull blew it up. It is coming right towards us.
Zoro raised eyebrow, thinking the reindeer had lost it.
Look, yelled Luffy.
There coming right at them was a man wearing a large bull mask and a pair of strange skates.
"He is gliding across the ocean," shouted Nami. "If he wants a fight, I will give him one," smirked Sanji. That smirk didn't last long when the bullman slammed a foot into his face.
"He's mine," said Zoro, drawing his blade, but he too was soon hit before he could even move.
Naruto and Luffy had the same luck, much to Nami's shock. "What is wrong with you four?" Her eyes widened as the bullman took aim at their ship with his bazooka. He was just about to fire it when a man dressed in knight's armor and carrying a javelin knocked the bullman down into the ocean. The knight then landed on their ship, allowing her to have a good look at him. It was a skinny old man with a thin white beard and a bird she had never seen. "Who are you?" "I am the Knight of the Sky," answered the old man, the bird squawking behind him. He retreated. "Who was that attacked us?" asked Nami.
She then turned to look at the four.
"What's more is what was up with that display? He beat all four of you. I thought you were supposed to be strong."
Sanji, Luffy, Naruto, and Zoro were all panting heavily. "My body, I can barely move it at all," panted Luffy.
"It is probably the thin air up here," said Robin. "Yeah, that seems about right," grunted Zoro, finally breathing regularly. "Are you all blue sea dwellers?" asked the old knight, as he walked up to the second level of the ship. "Blue sea dwellers?" frowned Nami. The knight nodded, "Yes.
It is the term used to describe those that live beneath the clouds."
"So what do we call you then?" "Sky dweller," blinked Naruto. "I am the Knight of Sky. A free mercenary of the skies.
One whistle and I shall arrive to lend my aid for a reasonable price, that is," spoke the old knight.
"Kind of just ignores everyone, doesn't he?" pouted Naruto.
Robin didn't much like how the knight had avoided their questions either,
especially concerning the person who had attacked them.
The knight soon left after saying that he would come the moment he heard the whistle and help them in any situation so long as they had the money to pay him.
Not a very chivalrous knight. Sky Island, Angel Beach.
This is ridiculous.
A place such as this should not exist, growled Kyubi. Naruto had finally learned the name of the beast that resided within him.
It seemed the demon grew tired of him referring to him as the beast.
Kyubi no Yuki. That is the true name of the beast that lived within him. The nine-tailed demon fox. It does exist, so there is no point complaining about it now.
Besides, you are the one who delivered me to this world. Shouldn't you have known about such places? Asked Naruto aloud.
He wasn't worried about anyone hearing him.
His nakama had followed the beautiful young woman, Konis, to her home to learn more about this place.
Honestly, he didn't really care to learn the history, items, or any of that. All he wanted to do is enjoy his time here.
I may be the most powerful being in the universe, but that doesn't mean I am omniscient.
There are millions of dimensions.
You landed in this one completely by luck, growled Kyubi.
Then how do you know you can take me back to Konoha, or better yet get me back here? Naruto narrowed his eyes. Once I have been to a dimension, I never forget how to find it. I merely played roulette with you because I honestly didn't care where you landed as long as I got free. A plan that obviously didn't work. Why did Kyubi have such a problem with humans?
They weren't all meat bags as he tended to see them.
His nakama were proof enough that not all humans were evil. Naruto.
He turned his head to see Sanji running towards him with the others not far behind.
Naruto. Where is Nami-swan? Yelled Sanji.
She is behind. Naruto blinked as he pointed at nothing but open cloud ocean. He tilted his head and frowned.
Where did Nami-chan go? I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Yelled Sanji, grabbing Naruto by the shirt and shaking him.
Naruto gained swirls in his eyes. I don't know where she went. Sanji dropped Naruto and started to yell all over for Nami. Oi, we can use the waiver, said Usopp. Yash. I shall write it. Luffy picked up the old broken down looking waiver.
They all watched as he stupidly tried to activate it but merely sunk into the ocean.
Luffy, yelled Chopper.
A few minutes later, Konis and her father were trying to fix the waiver while the others brought Naruto up to date.
So, there is a sacred land called Upper Yard?
And a god lives there, said Naruto. Hi, or that is the story at least, nodded Zoro.
A god.
Probably someone with a devil fruit, laughed Naruto.
That would make more sense, said Robin. Zoro had to agree. Chances are it was something with very powerful devil fruit abilities.
It wouldn't be the first time such a thing had happened.
Oi! All turned to look at Luffy.
Who are those guys crawling towards us? Sure enough, around 7 men with wings on their backs and wearing similar uniforms were crawling on the grounds towards them.
Probably perverts, deadpanned Usopp.
Oh, so that is a pervert, said Chopper. The men continued to crawl towards them. Hasu, said the leader, making a type of bunny ears with his fingers. Hasu, replied Konis and her father. What are you saying? Frowned Luffy. You Blue Sea dwellers. You are the 8 people who have illegally trespassed on Sky Island. The man held out pictures of each of them. How did he get pictures of us? Wondered Naruto, looking around.
Why is he calling us illegal entrants? Asked Sanji. A more appropriate question. I think it is because we didn't pay the entrance fee.
It seems that old woman let us through without telling us that doing so would make us trespassers, said Robin.
Usopp hid behind Zoro in fear, not wanting to go to jail. We the White Berets are responsible for upholding the law.
You did not pay the immigration fee, therefore you violated a Class 11 crime. It is a simple matter that can be settled if you pay 10 times the fee right now. 70 billion extol, said the captain of the White Berets.
Naruto sat down on the ground. No way.
This place is cool and everything, but I am not paying that much.
Wait. We don't even know how much that is. Excuse me. How much is that in berry? Asked Usopp, not wanting any trouble.
That will be 7 million berry, said the captain calmly.
Nanny, shouted Luffy.
Sanji released a puff of smoke. Way too much. You know what you get when you add 7 million plus 18 million, asked Naruto, looking at Zoro.
25 million berry, said Zoro.
Nope, the difference between my bounty and yours, grinned Naruto. Ever since that fat man had tried to hunt them down after showing them their new bounties, Naruto had been using it to tease Zoro.
Much to the swordsman's ire. I am going to kill you. Zoro started to chase Naruto around with his sword.
The captain of the White Berets cleared his throat, using a weapon while on Angel Beach.
That is a Class 8 crime. He looked around and noticed that they were missing the 8th person. Hiding the 8th individuals, that is a Class 7 crime. Oi, I am getting tired of you talking. I am going to kick your ass, shouted Luffy angrily.
Usopp grabbed Luffy. He is just kidding.
Nami-san will be back shortly and then we will gladly pay the fee. No way, I am not paying no fee. I am with Luffy, let's kick his ass, yelled Naruto.
Get back here, shouted Zoro, swinging and missing Naruto. Nothing but cloud, laughed Naruto before ducking down to avoid losing his head.
Guys. Nami-swan. My love.
See, there she is now. Nami, we need 7 million berry to pay for the fee to be released of our criminal charges, yelled Usopp.
7 million berry, a dark look appeared in Nami's eyes.
The captain of the White Berets' eyes widened as the waiver Nami was riding crashed right into him.
That is too much.
No, yelled Usopp, his jaw hitting the clouds. A sound of bodies hitting the ground were heard and Usopp turned to see Naruto standing over the remaining White Berets. Each were knocked out cold and sporting multiple bruises.
What are you doing? Yelled Usopp and Nami.
What?
I thought we were beating them up.
You took out the captain, blinked Naruto.
Idiot, yelled Nami, hitting Naruto over the head. This is not good, gasped Konis' father. Attacking the white berets is a class 2 crime. Now you will be judged by the God Enel.
No has ever survived the judgment of our God Enel and the 4 priests. Koni's had a grim look in her eyes.
Zoro, said Naruto with a hard look. Yeah?
This is no job for someone with such a low bounty. If you stay here with Usopp you will be safe, said Naruto, placing a hand on Zoro's shoulder.
Zoro's eyes started to twitch as Naruto gave him that look. Let us handle this god. Be safe, my friend.
Be safe, he whispered.
I'll kill you.
It seems we have been brought to some type of sacrificial altar. I believe this is to be our heaven's judgment, said Robin, looking around. The Going Merry now rested on a stone platform that had a large flight of stone stairs that led down to the sky ocean. In the water were sky sharks that were just waiting to eat anyone that entered the water.
Zoro yawned as he looked down at the water. So we are intended to be a sacrifice, hey? This god is really starting to piss me off.
If I ever meet him I am going to kick him across the face, said Naruto seriously. He turned to see that Robin had left the ship and was looking at some strange symbols. Nami started to do one of her rants, so he decided to see what is going on with Robin. Naruto hopped over the edge and landed next to Robin.
So, what you looking at? Robin kept staring at the strange symbols. This is a poneglyph. Naruto blinked, having no idea what she was talking about. I am going into the forest.
Staying here is a waste of time, said Zoro.
I'll be coming as well.
These poneglyph might be able to lead me to some ancient relics of the past, said Robin, heading back to the ship.
Really like learning about the past, don't you? She looked at Naruto, who stared at the poneglyph with a curious look. Hi, history is a passion of mine.
I am quite excited by this find, smiled Robin. Could this lead to treasure, smiled Nami with money signs in her eyes.
Possibly, said Robin. I'm coming, shouted Nami. Zoro looked at Naruto, who scratched the back of his head as he looked at the poneglyph. What is that idiot doing? Oi, you coming with Naruto? He yelled.
No, I'll stay with Chopper-san.
If this is a sacrificial altar and we are not here to be sacrificed, then something might happen to the Going Merry. I don't want anything to happen to the ship.
They all sweat dropped a bit. Naruto just admitted to willing to sacrifice himself for a ship. Well, they all did have a connection with the Merry. In a way, they would want to protect the ship as well.
Right, we'll see you later after we check this place out, said Zoro. Bye.
Make sure to come back, yelled Chopper as the 3 used a large vine to swing across to the land. The reindeer turned to face Naruto, but he wasn't there.
Naruto?
He ran over to the side of the ship and saw Naruto sitting down in front of the poneglyph.
Ano Naruto-kun, what are you doing? Trying to read. Oh. Any luck? A silence filled the air. Nope, Chopper face faulted. But I feel as if I should know this. Strange, huh?
I know I have seen similar writing, just don't remember where, said Naruto.
I guess, frowned Chopper. Naruto sure is weird when all serious like that.
Oh well, he needed to repair the ship. He turned to grab the supplies, but his eyes widened. There on the land about 50 feet away was a large vulture-looking bird with a man sitting on its back. The man had a large lance in his hand.
Ah, Naruto. Is this all?
I had been hoping for more, said the man with a disappointed look in his eyes.
Naruto.
Help, yelled Chopper.
Why are you screaming so loud?
I am right here, Naruto said, standing right next to Chopper. The little reindeer pointed at the stranger that had showed up.
Oi, are you this god I keep hearing about? The man smirked. Let's go, Fuza.
The large bird soared into the sky.
I am Shura, one of the 4 priests that serves the god Enel. I have come here to deal out your punishment for breaking the rules of Upper Yard. Shura raised his lance. He then hopped off Fuza and thrust his lance forward.
Naruto used the back of his hand to slap the lance away before jumping off the Going Merry, creating some distance between them.
You can't run.
Burn him, Fuza, smirked Shura. Fuza flew above Naruto, opened its mouth, and released a torrent of flames straight at Naruto.
Naruto, yelled Chopper.
Naruto jumped straight into the air and delivered a kick to Fuza's face, but the bird dived down to avoid it. Shura leapt off the Merry and appeared in front of Naruto. This might be fun after all. His lance moved at great speeds as he tried to stab Naruto.
Naruto dodged the first thrust, but a second glanced his right shoulder followed by a third across his cheek. Each landed on the ground with Shura having the high ground.
You're pretty good at dodging, but you can't run forever, laughed Shura.
The man stopped laughing when a cut appeared across his left cheek.
His eyes widened as he looked down upon Naruto. Naruto grinned as a guardless bone sword emerged from his palm, a bit of blood dripping from the tip.
Got you, smiled Naruto. So, you possess the power of a devil fruit. No matter, that will not help you.
Your death is inevitable, smirked Shura, charging forward. Naruto raised his blade and started to parry or dodge each thrust or slash.
Chopper's eyes widened in awe.
He had never seen Naruto fight like this.
Luffy fought using brute force, Zoro using 3 swords, and Sanji with powerful kicks. Yet Naruto fought a bit more elegantly, or that is how it looked. Each move he took was perfectly calculated without wasting a single bit of energy. Naruto had a smile on his face as he fought with Shura, yet never truly attacking back. Cuts started to appear all over Shura's body, showing that the superior fighter using melee weapons is obviously Naruto. He is enjoying the fight. Prolonging it on purpose, thought Chopper with wide eyes.
A pinging sound was heard as Naruto deflected a thrust to his throat, then stepped inside Shura's guard, slamming his palm into the man's chest.
Shura grunted as he was sent skidding backwards from the force of the blow, almost tripping over the stairs.
You're really good, grinned Naruto.
Hey, do you think you can tell me where I can find this god at? Arg! How dare you mock me? I will kill you. You are not fit to breathe the same air as my god. Shura charged forward, his lance becoming on fire. He thrust it forward with all his might, but Naruto danced around it. Shura's eyes widened as Naruto appeared behind him and a fountain of blood erupted from his back. Some of it got on Naruto's shirt. You are starting to sound like that annoying fox. Always wanting to kill something for no reason.
I don't want to spar with a person like that, said Naruto, lowering his sword.
Shura clenched his fists as he rose back up to his feet.
He jumped up and landed on Fuza's back, flying around Naruto.
You will die. At my hands.
Now watch closely as you face the ordeal of string, shouted Shura.
Naruto's eyes widened as he could no longer move his body. He tried to move his arm but was only able to get it up a little bit. A dark laughter came from Shura as his lance became on fire. Fuza flew him straight at Naruto, who couldn't move. Naruto! Chopper yelled with wide eyes. Shura laughed, die.
Blood dripped to the ground.
Chopper's eyes were wide in horror.
Naruto stood there with a calm look in his eyes while Shura had wide eyes.
The point of his lance had pierced Naruto's chest right over his heart.
But it had only gone in a centimeter. The reason for that being the stronger than steel ribcage bones that had burst out of Naruto's chest to stop the lance.
Ah! Shura screamed as several bones pierced right through his stomach.
Looking down, he saw Naruto's hand raised at him, and there were 4 very sharp and long bones coming out all around his wrist. They extended forward until they had emerged out of Shura's back. The bones retracted and Shura fell face first to the ground with his lance hitting the ground, then rolling down the steps into the depths of the cloud ocean.
Fuza flew away with a scared look in its eyes. Is he dead? Asked Chopper, scared.
Nope, grinned Naruto, I made sure not to pierce any of the vital organs.
Chopper sighed. That had been really scary.
He had thought that Naruto was dead when he didn't move to dodge that attack.
Man, I was worried for a second.
Somehow he managed to bind me with invisible wire. Hee, I almost forgot about my Hon abilities, grinned Naruto, making Chopper facefault. Naruto held the invisible wire up, just barely able to make it out.
Don't scare me like that, yelled Chopper. Gomen Chopper-kun. It's not easy to fight on stairs. Gave him a huge advantage, just look at my shirt, pouted Naruto. Chopper's eyes widened as he saw multiple slashes in Naruto's clothes. I really like this shirt too.
I guess I better change. Naruto hummed a light tune as he headed back up to the Mary. Naruto was scary, thought Chopper, running after his friend.
Break!
Aisa's eyes widened as she fell into the tent containing the leaders of the Shandians. They all looked at her curiously. She came to a stop in front of Wiper. The leader of the Shandians sat in his chair with a bazooka in his hands and an emotionless look in his eyes.
Aisa, what is wrong with you? Asked Loki.
Two voices have just disappeared, said the girl with wide eyes.
Two voices, repeated Loki. Hi.
Both were priests, said Aisa. Everyone knew that Aisa had the power of mantra, an ability that allowed her to sense other people. Wiper stood up. It seems the heavens favor us.
Now is the perfect opportunity to strike.
The others nodded in agreement and followed Wiper out of the tent.
Aisa ran up to Loki. Wait, Loki. They were taken out by the outsiders. Loki kept an emotionless expression. You mean the Blue Sea Dwellers? Aisa nodded her head. It matters not. All that matters is that we don't fail in taking out the remaining two.
Then we will deal with the outsiders. A worried look appeared in Aisa's eyes. Those outsiders were strong, very strong from what she sensed.
Usopp, Luffy, and Sanji. Oi, where are we now? Looks like a swamp, smiled Luffy. This is no normal swamp.
Look at all the skull heads, yelled Usopp, shivering in fear. Sanji lit another cigarette as he looked at all the skulls. This is probably another ordeal.
Usopp froze at hearing that.
They had already just barely overcame the ordeal of balls and defeating that priest Satori.
Nanny, which ordeal is it thought? Swamp? Iron? String, shivered Usopp. We are in a swamp, stated Sanji.
It could be iron, suggested Luffy.
Sanji and Usopp shook their heads.
An explosion was heard and they all turned to see three individuals flying towards them. They had tattoo marking on their bodies and were flying through the air via waiver skates. The leader had tan-brown skin with a mohawk and carried a large bazooka. As he passed by the Straw Hat Pirates, he took aim with his bazooka and fired.
We are going to die, yelled Usopp.
Luffy took a deep breath and expanded his body. Gomu Gomu no Fusen. The bazooka cannon bounced off his stomach and shot into the woods, exploding harmlessly away from them.
A paramecia, said the Shandian who fired the shot. Oi!
Why are you shooting at us? Get down here so I can kick your ass.
Luffy, yelled Usopp, holding his friend back. Blue Sea Dwellers.
Heed this warning, leave this island and return to where you came, warned the Shandian.
If you do not, then I will have no choice but to eliminate you all. What was that? You want to fight? Bring it on. I'll kick your ass.
Sacrificial altar.
Shura glared hatefully at Naruto. Release me and I promise your death will be swift. Nope, smiled Naruto. Shouldn't we be on the altar to protect the ship? Asked Chopper.
Nah, if we stay there and more of him show up then the ship will be caught in the fights, answered Naruto, fanning the flames of the fire he had created. Two halves of a sky shark were roasting over the flames on giant bones that Naruto had created.
By the way, mind telling me how you were able to predict my attacks? I will kill you. Naruto scratched the back of his head. You do realize that Chopper is a doctor, right? Also the one who bandaged you up.
I don't much like killing, but it wouldn't be too hard for an accident to happen to reopen your wounds.
A warm yet scary smile appeared on Naruto's face. Poor Chopper might even forget how to rebandage you. The priest gulped in fear. Do your worst. Well, it was worth a try, laughed Naruto.
Chopper and Shura sweat dropped.
It had been a bluff. A really scary bluff.
Wait, he was able to predict your movements? Asked Chopper confused.
Yep.
It is why I didn't go on the offensive until he got so angry that he let it get the better of him.
Bet you thought I was prolonging the fight, didn't you?
Chopper chuckled nervously while Naruto grinned. I may enjoy fighting, but toying with your opponent isn't very respectful. I may not be as honorable as Zoro, but I always give a true opponent my all. The priest said nothing, as he tried to find a way to escape.
What Naruto had said wasn't the complete truth. Even though he had his mantra activated, he couldn't truly predict Naruto's movements. Naruto never revealed his true intentions until the last second.
It was as if Naruto didn't even think about his next move until a second before he did.
Unlike other warriors who tried to plan out their attack, Naruto just moved with the flow. How could a man fight like that?
No matter, when I get free I will kill him and his little pet reindeer, glared Shura hatefully.
Yo Naruto!
We are back, shouted Zoro. Over here, yelled Naruto waving at them from the other side.
Nami, Robin, and Zoro all arrived at the makeshift camp. Their eyes landed upon Shura, who glared at them hatefully.
Zoro slammed the hilt of his sword on Shura's head, knocking the man out cold.
Zoro!
What are you doing? Yelled Chopper. I didn't like the way he kept looking at me, stated Zoro, taking a seat on the ground. I have seen him before when I came here with the waver. He rid on a large bird and carried a lance, frowned Nami. She turned to look at Naruto.
What happened?
He attacked us.
I beat him. Then I got hungry. Decided to go fishing. Then I dashed. Naruto never finished when Nami hit him over the head. I get it. Smartass, growled Nami. A sheepish grin appeared on Naruto's face. Hey guys! We found you!
All turned to see Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji. They had just come down the river on a boat. Nighttime filled the island and the entire crew were sitting around the fire with Naruto and Luffy eating the delicious sky shark.
So, what did you all find out? Asked Nami looking at Sanji. The cook lit his cigarette and took a puff before answering. We faced this priest, Satori, who used surprise balls to attack us.
Not only that, but he could predict our movements using something called mantra, explained Sanji.
Mantra, huh?
That dude over there was predicting my attacks too, pointing at the knocked-out Shura.
Sanji glanced at the priest. Did you try getting any information from him?
Chopper spoke up. Yeah, but he refuses to betray his god. I wonder who exactly this god is, muttered Zoro. I am sure we will find out in time, said Robin.
Nami spoke next. We found out that this island here is a part of Jaya.
This is the island that Norland, Mont Blanc's ancestor, spoke of that contained the mountain of gold.
Luffy's eyes lit up. Gold.
Yash, this is great.
We can find this gold.
The others smirked.
Wouldn't be much of pirates if we didn't go searching for treasure now, would we? Smirked Sanji.